Welcome to day 3 of the challenge. This is my third attempt. Would you rather take 10 minutes a day for 1.5 months doing small rehearsed drills for day game? Or would you rather mass approach for 6 months or more, half-assing it with huge volume of approaches? Think about it. Mass approaching takes so much time, energy, and effort. And what do you get for it? Nothing. You're running around giving direct compliments, collecting flaky phone numbers that don't go anywhere, and using gamey game techniques like push polls, DHV stories. But here's the truth, that's not skills, it's desperation. And the reason why you're stuck is because mass approaching doesn't work anymore. Back in the pandemic days, sure, you could hit 10,000 approaches and eventually you're going to get laid for a day game. But not today during the inflation and during the tariffs, because this is the third day of Donald Trump's tariffs. You could spend all that time and energy if your SMV or sexual market value is low, and guess what happens? Nothing will happen because mass approaching is just hacking away with a dull blade. It reinforces bad habits. Your body language gets worse. You rush your speech. You come across as uncalibrated, and you're stuck in the 4 traits of low self-esteem. You're delusional, thinking that you're making progress when you're not. You're half-assing it, relying on schemes and shortcuts instead of building real skills. You're on the wrong path, the sociopath, mass approaching, spam approaching women with low value interactions. And when it doesn't work for you, you quit. Then the cycle starts all over again. Boot camps will not save you either. You might think, well, I'll just take a boot camp and that will be faster. But here's the thing, boot camps aren't working anymore either. Most dating coaches don't even have real lay testimonials these days. They rely on optics, standing next to women in photos, faking Tinder results, or sending students to Latin countries where Tinder and night game dominate. And that's not real pickup, and you know it. But why waste your money? Because long-term consistency is the answer. What if instead of wasting months mass approaching or burning through your wallet or boot camps, you spend just 10 minutes a day sharpening your skills? And that's what my students do. They focus on long-term consistency, not short-term intensity, because that's actually a lot more work to mass approach for half a year to 8 months or so, getting no results whatsoever. So give it a thumbs up. That'll be good for the algorithm. I'm no longer using Restream. It took me 3 tries to get this. And every time I try to play this testimonial, it cuts me off and it freezes the computer. Not this time. I don't care if I have to do this 100 times. I'm going to get this done no matter what. So if you have any questions, I cannot pop up the word, do you want to ask questions anymore? You're just going to have to ask the questions and then see how it goes. So let me just put this up here, 4th attempt, right? 3rd challenge, right? We're going to make this happen, guys. We're going to make this happen. No matter what, we're going to post this video. So programs like Elite 30, From Hard Case to Hero, and Kaizen have helped so many of my students get real results. Why? Because they compress all the essential skills, body language, social calibrations, and social skills into a focused and disciplined routine. Now with the Elite Tonality Mastery course, that's 21-day challenge, you can rewire your brain in just 21 days. And that's all it takes to build new neural pathways, according to science, exactly 21 days. But here's the key. You can't skip more than 2 days in a row or you'll lose all your neural pathways and have to go back to day 1. That's right. Consistency is what creates results. You must sharpen the saw before you cut. So if you had to cut down 100 trees, what would you waste hours hacking away with a dull blade, or would you spend 80% of the time sharpening the saw first? Because that's just like day game. You got to sharpen the saw. Mass approaching is like hacking away with a dull axe. You're putting in all this effort and you're not making progress. My students sharpen the saw first. It doesn't take more than 10 minutes a day. And then you can approach anytime you want. They focus on building their skills, their body language, their tonality, their emotional control. So when they approach, they get results. One approach to 6 approaches, and that's all it takes. And here's some proof that it works. Take one of my Chinese students. Hopefully, it doesn't freeze up on me this time. I'm not using the same software. Before he met me, he took an RSD bootcamp, and he only got 1 lay after 5 years, right before he met me, and that was in a Latin shithole country called Spain. After training with me, he got 15 lays, 5 models, 5 white girls, 2 actresses, and he married one of the actresses, and he is a father today. Just a few weeks ago, his daughter was born. And here's the best part. He married one of those actresses. And now he has a daughter, and he didn't spam approach. He didn't rely on gimmicks. He followed the system. He sharpened the saw. And he got results most guys only dreamed of. Of course, now you're saying, John, that sounds great and all, but do you have any proof? Day 3, awesome content. Exactly. Long-term consistency beats short-term intensity. So let's listen to his testimonial over here. I just uploaded it last minute, but we can hear it finally, and hopefully it does not cut us off. Here we go. Let's play it from the beginning. Okay, right here.
Hey everyone, I'm going to do a quick testimonial for my Daygame coach, John Elite. So recently I managed to lay with a model. She's 180 cm.
So he banged a model who's 180 cm. I don't know what that means. How tall is 180 centimeters? Like 5'10", 5'11", who knows?
Tall, right? Because we're taller than me.
Or is that 6 foot tall? I'm not sure.
I'm only like 175, okay? It was from a day 2. I met her at a food court at night around 9 p.m. I met her at a food court, and then I got her Instagram within like 1 minute, and I scheduled a day 2. She keeps saying, I don't know. So I picked her up, and we watched a movie. After making her in the movie, she gave me a hand job in the movie. I was touching her pussy, I could feel it wet and everything. And I wanted to go to my house, okay? I took a taxi there, and on the way I realized I didn't bring my key. I'm like, fuck. So at the shopping mall, I tried to do it in the toilet. I took her to a staircase. We made out for a while, did a bit of like petting and all this kind of stuff. She was touching my car. I was fingering her and all that.
Yeah, he was like fingering her underneath the staircase because he forgot his key from his bedroom. And then, you know, he had to bring her somewhere. He tried to do it in public, but he couldn't.
Because she was living with 2 other models. Okay, so 3 of them were in the hotel. They're in the same room.
So there are like 3 models living in one place. Her friends, because she's an influencer and she's tall, her other friends are like white models or something like that. So she told her other friends to leave the room.
So she called her friend and she kicked 2 of her friends out of the room just so we can have sex, right? She brought me back to her room, we had sex, and then that was the end of the night. Okay, now, how did John help me in this whole journey? Okay, so I got him I engaged him as my coach about a week ago, and honestly, it's my first day game ever since I got him as coach.
This is his first day game lay since he was training with me.
First day game, I managed to get a late, okay? And I think I did about maybe 6 approaches that night, yeah? She's taller than me, but exactly everything is split. Like everything is a science leap. I used to be an RSD, I used to go for RSD bootcamp, and honestly, it's like everyone was just spam approaching. Imagine 10 guys going to...
He went to a RSD Tyler bootcamp. He did not get any results, and everybody else was just mass approaching. It took him 5 years just to even get 1 lay right before he met me in Spain. Not in Spain, but when he was in Spain. But that's when it happened. But 5 years is a long time. What an opportunity cost. This is what happens with short-term intensity from boot camps versus long-term consistency with my training. He's already practicing the drills, and he got his first model. It was that easy.
Just pushing people and getting blown out within like 30 seconds to 1 minute. So I didn't get it also in the bootcamp, man. So John Elite is definitely better than RSC. That's why I was looking for alternative, and I'm glad I found. So I just banged a really hot Russian.
This is a lay. This is like further ahead. This is not like the second lay. This is like number 5 or 6. I don't know, number 7. He's already banged a few models. And over here, This is a Russian woman, and this is his first white girl. He's banged some models and stuff, but this is the first white girl, Russian.
Last night was a really awesome night, and I just followed John's social status for you, but I didn't really sexualize, and I realized that sexualizing sometimes does not work. Like, for example, a lot of like Johnny students, maybe RSD will tell you to sexualize it, or but actually you can just flirt without sexualizing. So, for example, flirting
So he was actually flirting instead of sexualizing, because flirting works a lot better. You stay stuck on the line, just like Jordan Belfort's straight line persuasion. If you try to sexualize it, you're off the line. You're always going to get rejected. And the only women that will find you attractive is if they're like 3 out of 10. And nobody wants that. That's disgusting. Very, very disgusting with the UMP method, which is absolute bullshit and dog shit and overrated.
So really, it's like, so with a small for the voice, but it is different from just like sexualizing it. And then she just left all of a sudden. I was like, what the fuck? Why did she just left? Like she just immediately just left, you know? And then she said, actually, sorry, I actually informed you beforehand. Anyway, let's go to the team.
Yeah, he got rejected, and then I had to teach him how to text to get the women back out. So why were you saying that K-pop? It crashed your answer. K-pop does not work at all. It only works if you're in Poland and they have some kind of K-pop fever because of some kind of exotic advantage. But if you try to do that in the United States, you're going to get blown out every single time. So K-pop fashion just lowers your looks with the K-pop fashion. You might raise your looks if you look like a K-pop artist, but other than that, it's not going to work. It lowers your status for perceived natural status. And you're just playing a huge numbers game of stupidity, and you have 0 out of 10 per social like status. And this guy also, he's Asian, but he went whitewashed, and it works even better. It raises your points, it raises your status, it raises everything.
Next day, I followed John's text, and then suddenly she said she wants to meet me at my hotel. Husband material frame, because John bought me the 6 frame.
So he went with the husband material whitewash frame. That's what got him his first white girl, and he's no longer sexualized it. So no more of that Asian wash shit.
And like, I don't always have to go by the fucking frame. I can go by other frames. So I tried the husband material frame, and it worked. We're gonna try the one together. We're gonna have Russian and Asian babies, and kiss her, and around like in the bedroom, and we had sex. It was the best sex ever. She came 3 times. She was so tight. I love you, like me.
So yeah, first white girl. She came 3 times. Pussy's tight. He loves it. That's good. So now that he got that out of the way, he no longer has these inner game issues with white girls anymore, because at first he thought it was impossible. But now that he's done it, it is possible with my training. So even if you're totally Asian washed and you feel like white girls don't like you, if you do what I say with the drills and exercises, long-term consistency will trump short-term intensity. So it's crazy how all these knowledge is just 30% of your game, right? The mental filter, it must make the invisible visible. Very impressive. Exactly. So
for me to fuck her. So that was the Russian name. Okay, so I'm quite happy about that because I've always wanted to be Russian girl. I think like Spanish girls and Brazilian girls and other girls, but not Russian girls.
Yeah, before he had a Brazilian girlfriend, she kind of looked whitish, but she wasn't technically white. Probably just dyed blonde hair or something like that, light skin. But this is actual first white girl, like white girl Russian. I mean, that's very white, like an attractive Russian.
I recently was with an Indonesian model, and
he also had another model that was Asian.
Outside the club, within 1 minute, okay, wasn't in the club, but within
since he was not inside the nightclub, it's still day game. You can swoop in outside the club; it still counts as day game. If you went inside the club, then that's night game. He literally went outside. He took the woman. He brought her home in 1 minute. She was so surprised, and he had sex with her. So he had another model again. This is what happens when you practice the drills. No more of that stupid numbers game saying, can I meet you real quick? Mass approaching. Remember, these testimonials are brand new. Nobody's heard them before. I might have played them in a challenge, but the other 2, I just censored the voice right now with the thing to make it sound like this, to protect his voice, his identity. And then you're going to hear two more brand new ones you've never heard before. And you're wondering, John, you've been posting nothing but brand new late testimonials. Why have you been holding all these secrets out on us? Why do you have so many video testimonials? Hey, success leaves clues. They're all real people. He's a father now. He has a daughter, and his wife is an actress. So
Stay away from all the other coaches, like, they tell you like bullshit. So I want to do.
This is the third testimonial. This is after a same-day lay in one approach in Berlin, the easiest country in the world next to Thailand. Berlin is the easiest, not other parts of Germany, but Berlin cannot be any easier because that's a hipster kind of place. Because it's a hipsterville, Berlin is super, super easy. Nobody knows about Berlin because they're all a bunch of socialists. The women already have all their monies and survival value met. The government gives them university. They give them they give them a place to live. They're completely subsidized, and they just down the fuck. And they're alternative hipster girls over there in Berlin. Super easy the same day lay. You can literally rack up a huge lay count. That place is overrated, but that's the truth. It's easy as Thailand. And this is proof he got laid in one approach. The very first woman that he approached over there in Berlin, this is a 5'8" Asian guy. Women will follow you anywhere to the ends of the earth. They don't give a shit because all their survival value is handled.
Testimonial for my coach, Johnny Lee, for helping me to get laid with a hot.
This is the first time I've heard this in a long time. I don't know what's in the testimonial. We'll see what happens. Why is Thailand the easiest? Because if you're like a tall white guy and you go to Thailand, all the women will go after you. So it becomes a lot easier just by having white privilege, using your SMV in those kind of countries. And also Thailand's more of a sexual kind of place, with the nightclubs, and they have this sexual vibe to it, kind of like Las Vegas, which makes it super easy. It's easier than other Asian countries. Maybe Philippines could be like one of the easier places, like number 3, and number 4 is going to be Australia. So
So what happened was I met, I came to Germany, to meet a German girl that I met in an Asian island. So after we met in the Asian island, she came to my country, and then after that, I flew to Germany to meet her.
So basically, this girl he met over there, he met somewhere, and she's 19 years old, and she's really pretty, and she wanted to meet him. So she actually met him in his Asian country with her cousin, right, who's also a girl. And afterwards, he's going to Germany to meet her, but he develops a lot of new skills, not just aeroscience, but he also has a new method, the tonality and also the emotional intelligence, which I cannot talk about yet. I can only talk about tonality. A lot of things are kept secret from you guys. Like you said over there in the comments, right? It's crazy how all this knowledge is just 30% of your game. That's right. A lot of these things are kept secret, so I'm not going to talk about the emotional control aspect of it. Can only talk about the, not the cause, but the symptoms, which is the tonality. He's learned some stuff that got him married because of this place. He did not close the 19-year-old girl, but when he flew over from the middle part of Germany and he went over there to Berlin in one approach, he same-day lays. A 5'8" Chinese guy.
And things didn't really work out. So John told me to just, do one day game in Berlin or something instead.
Yeah.
So I went to Berlin, and on the first day, in the first approach, I was talking to my roommate because I stayed in a hostel. So I was talking to my roommate, and she turned out to be this hot, white, blonde Hungarian girl. So after that, we started talking. Like within 10 minutes, we started talking about clubbing, drugs, and sex, and all this kind of stuff already. And then after that, we went to get food and get food together and get clothing together for Halloween costume. And then after that, I see the sex even more, did the cute test. She agreed to having sex one day and all this kind of stuff. And then after that, I put her back.
See, maneuver. That's what he did. Sexualize it to the maximum, not just half-ass sexualizing like UMP and tall self-proclaimed high lay count guys talking stupid shit about half-ass sexualizing. Oh, that's what she said. Ho, 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 ho. That doesn't work. That's complete bullshit. That only leads to 2 late testimonials a year when you're that popular, or banging a bunch of 3 out of 10s if they got results, but it didn't work for this 5'8" Chinese guy. Completely got demolished, sexualizing it, but now he's sexualizing it to the maximum with flirts in between, maneuver warfare, and he's going to deal with these sexual objections over here. Well, Thailand's easier for white guys, but it is a bit easier for every race too. So.
And then I forced the hotel because like the hostel is a shared dormitory, right? So I booked a 4-star hotel and spent the night with her and give her like 5 orgasms. And then after that, we became like fuck buddies. Like we would see each other almost every day.
See, that approach to fuck buddies from Berlin, Germany, the easiest place on earth. If anyone tells you anything else, that's called fake news.
Yeah, so it's still a pretty good trip so far.
Remember, this is the first time any of you heard this Berlin testimonial. This is brand new. No one in the world has heard it. I went on here for like 4 times. The thing crashed for the other restreamer software when I'm playing this one. But now you know that Germany is the easiest fucking place on planet Earth. Standing 45 degrees, the proper way to stand, right? And the blazer whitewash, and now they can V-shape taper work. Yeah, there's a lot of science to it. That is the reason why he can keep getting laid in 1 to 6 approaches. For this Berlin woman, this blonde chick, Hungarian, he same day laid her on 1 approach. It's all a science. There is no art to this. You do everything I say, it's automatically lay, but you still need skills. Just because you know you can be whitewashed and look like my students, it doesn't mean you have their skills, because if you don't practice long-term consistency, drills all the time, but you try short-term intensity, or you try to use game tactics like push pulls and romantic flirts, you're going to get stuck, and you're going to have to use alcohol in the bedroom, which is completely unethical. Completely unethical. And then from there, you have to use better emasculation, and that's not a way to do things. That's very sociopathic. This guy does it with the aeroscience, maneuver, sexualize, and objections looping.
So I want to do a quick testimonial for my coach, Johnny Lee, for helping me to get laid with a hot, white, blonde Hungarian girl. So what happened was I met, I came to Germany, to meet a German girl that I met in the Netherlands. Came to my country, and then after that, I flew to Germany to meet her. And things didn't really work out, so John told me to just, do one day game in Berlin or something instead. So I went to Berlin, and on the first day, in the first approach, I was talking to my roommate, because I stay in a hostel, so I was talking to my roommate, and she turned out to be this hot, white, blonde.
Why is it playing again? Maybe I put the 2 testimonials back to back. I should have put, I hope the 4th testimonial is there, hopefully.
So after that, we started talking, like within 10 minutes, we started talking about clubbing, drugs, and sex and all stuff, really. And then after that, we wanted to bed. And then,
oh shit! Yeah, I put the same testimonial twice. I was supposed to put the brand new one where he gets married and stuff. Oh shit! I must have fucked up the editing. That's why I played it twice. Hopefully, it doesn't freeze my computer again, because we'll have to go back here again another time. There's one more testimonial that I have to try to censor. Let me open up the CapCut right now in the middle of everything. I'm going to try to re-upload this. There was a 4th testimonial of him before he's going to propose to his girlfriend, which is his wife right now. This is so unfair. I can't even get this stuff done. Okay, let me see this. The testimonial should have been there. What the fuck? Oh, I put it twice there. That's not good. I must have copied the wrong one twice. Oh, fuck. Okay, there's one more testimonial. It looks like we have to find it, right? So I'm pretty sure I have it on Google Drive somewhere and over here. This is like maybe we can play it over like I have an idea. Why don't I just upload the one testimonial? Let's change his voice right now. Voice changer, low. Okay. So I'll just render this clip right now. So this is the fourth testimonial. I'll put his last name and last testimonial. We're going to play it for the whole world right now. This will be the first time you ever heard this testimonial in your life. Does this work with women you talk to at school or at work? Yes, but you don't want to shit where you eat at work. So I wouldn't recommend that you start approaching at work. So because if you fuck up or you're uncalibrated, you don't have all your skills down, this could get you fired. So I would not shit where you eat. And I try to tell students that, but they just insist that they have to do that until they get fired, which is absolutely fucking stupid. All right, now let's upload a Google Drive. Like I said, I did everything last minute. All these testimonials, I have to get this information to you guys as fast as humanly possible. I have not heard this testimonial fully. I know I have it. I just, I've never actually fully listened to it. So let's upload it to the Google Drive. This is the first time the world has ever heard of this. This is unedited, so I don't know what he says in it. I just know that I just said that if you're going to get married, then you might as well make the last testimonial after your last lay then with an actress. We'll just see what he has to say. Okay, it's going on Google Drive. Let's answer some questions before I post this one. Hopefully the computer does not freeze right now. So, okay. How far are we in terms of Google Drive, in terms of updating it? Let me just turn off CapCut. But like I said, everything was last minute. Let's see here. 7 people in here. That's good. So, okay, it's complete. Now let's see if it's over here, if it's rendered enough that I can start to play the testimonial. So let's open Google Drive again. Okay, it's here. I think it still needs to be rendered before it plays. Processing the video. Maybe I can download it or something, and then we can play it faster. Please bear with me here. I'm trying my very best. Here. Okay, this is brand new for the whole world. Debut. And you're wondering, why is there so many video testimonials? This is just a beginning. I have like over 40 of them or something that has not been released. All the testimonials I've played recently, especially during the challenge for the first 2 days, have been all brand new. You got things that you've never heard before. I've never posted the video testimonial. That's why sometimes I post a thumbnail. I've not posted a thumbnail of these 4 yet. I have not posted thumbnails for these things. So that way, you know that there's a testimonial that you guys have ignored. I stopped posting testimonials because you guys cannot stop ignoring it and just looking at me like I'm crazy because you're going to blame the inflation and you're going to blame the tariffs. And somehow it's all my fault somehow because you got no money or something like that. That's not a good mindset. You need to invest in yourself. If you have to invest in yourself and I have to break down the product into 3 pieces, I'm willing to do a financing plan so there is no excuses. Here it is. Let's debuting for the first time ever. Let's hear what he has to say. I have no idea. I just uploaded it. Let's just see what he says.
Just want to give a quick video testimonial for John Elite because he's really the best Daygame coach in the world. Okay, after his coaching, I was coaching with him for maybe about 6 months. Okay, and in about 6 months' time, I was able to lay at least 15 girls through Daygame and a lot.
15 girls through Daygame.
All through Tinder. Okay, and out of these 15 girls, 5 were models. Quite a number of them were white. I think at least 5 of them were white girls. Okay, one was a Hungarian girl, a blonde Hungarian girl. One Russian girl. I pulled many very beautiful Vagabond Russian girls. I pulled an American. Within 5 minutes of approaching, okay, within 30 seconds of approaching, we made out, and then I pulled her to the bar, and then I brought her back home.
Yeah, that's the other model that in a short amount of time, he got her back home and he banged her.
within about 5 to 15 minutes. And then another Turkish girl, many models, etc. Okay, and now I even had two actresses, and one of the actresses became my girlfriend, and
Yeah, one of the actresses became his girlfriend. They invited him to act in the movie, even though he's not an actor, but they invited him for a part. But that's where he met his wife. But this is how he met his wife, honestly. Okay. He banged one of the actresses in one of those trailer parks for the makeup things using the aero science. And then afterwards, his wife was freaking out, like, this guy is escalating too fast, but he was learning the lessons from Germany. That 19-year-old girl that he was meeting in a different country, he went so fast. He says, if I don't have sex on the first date, I lose interest. He burned that one to the ground. I told him to go to Berlin afterwards to another, and it's easier. And he got laid over there in Berlin instead. He did not play the long game, but this time he backed off a little bit. He recognized when her emotions was not good. So he took the lesson from the other, city in Germany. He brought it to Berlin. He learned how to close there, but now he brings it to the trailer park of the movie set. And this is an official movie. Like, there's actually a real movie of him in it and his girlfriend, now wife, and they now have a daughter. And this was a few weeks ago. And this is all real. And this is the results of what happens when you do long-term consistency with drills, not short-term intensity, using stupid tactics, mass approaching, or boot camps.
to marry her. So that's why I've not been doing the game for a long time, because I've been busy in my relationship, and I'm settling down because I've gone over up to now about 150 days so far. So that's why I'm thinking that, okay, maybe.
Yeah, he got like over, like, even when he trained with me and he started improving his social media, stuff like that, he got over 100 lays on Tinder. But, I told him to stop using Tinder, just use, day game only. So
It's about time to.
and all those testimonials doesn't count as a single lay, because I don't count Tinder as a lay count. It is a body count.
Like the game is, I played quite enough, and it's about time to settle down and start my own family. And I really want to thank John, because he taught me the arrow theory, and
We call it arrow theory before. It changed to arrow science because it was repeatable. Even his other friend is the Italian guy with 8 lays, all 9 out of 10s, except for a few 8.5s. That's actually his friend that he referred to me. So
he also taught me social calibrations and also the tonality, because being from an Asian country, I have an accent to communicate with girls. And he taught me in terms of fashion. He gave me the supplements to take, the gym workouts.
yeah, he's taking supplements, like I said, which helps him to calm down. It works. Everything works.
He's really a holistic dating coach. And if you want to get results, you definitely need to look for John. And even while I was being coached by John, sometimes I got distracted. I tried to learn other things, like, because I used to learn from RST.
So he took an RSD boot camp. He listened to other white dating coaches. 100% failure rate. The very first thing he does is not my thing. He does the white dating coach thing, crashes and burns, does it my way. He doesn't understand it. Just like I said before in the last challenge, I know some of you that have not heard it when Dan Pena says the reason why you're poor is because you don't follow the steps. You try to test everything and try to do it your way. You should just follow the exact steps like he did. He has better mindsets than you guys do.
I also learned from John Anthony, and I took a bootcamp with RST, paid over 2,000 plus USD, and didn't get any results, zero results. Okay, I took a bootcamp with, I learned John Anthony's whole countries and also his lease machine, and I got zero results. Like, none of his stuff worked. I tried it again and again, and
So even for using stuff from other tall self-proclaimed coaches, not saying anyone in particular, I mean many of them, their stuff did not work at all for their products, for a day game, for a 5'8" Chinese guy.
implements and all. So it's not that I didn't implement. I implemented and I still didn't get results. And while I was with John, I still got distracted. Okay, I'm sorry, John. I actually got distracted, and I had a friend who joined UMP, and he said UMP was very good, so I checked out their content, and I tried to implement everything that he taught, and I couldn't get any results.
So he tried to use UMP things. He got 0 results using UMP as a 5'8" Asian because that's an overrated company. This guy's value is way too low for Daygame, way too low, too short. And without my help, he would got demolished. Even sexualizing it does not work.
Me how to sexualize straight away and all that, and I just got blowout after blowout. It just didn't work. You say, oh, you need to be dominant and all that. No, it just didn't work. Like Johnny Lee's stuff works. UMP's stuff does not work. Okay, so and here's the thing: if you're already a student of John, sometimes when you're going through the thing, you might think that, hey, are you sure? Like, it's so simple. Because John makes it so simple and so easy to do. And sometimes you're like,
it's not simple. Some people think what I teach, oh, that's so simple, it cannot work. It actually is the only thing that works. Because for me, the aero science is the only thing that works. If I were to do 300 approaches and I give direct compliments and I dress like a fuckboy, I would have 300 rejections, even though I'm a dating coach. That's how bullshit direct game is all bullshit. Same with sexualizing it. That's all bullshit. And if students ever get laid, they get laid like so few and so rarely. And if they do somehow get laid, they might get like a 3 out of 10 consistently or 4 out of 10 if they're lucky. That's the truth. That's the limitation of game during the inflation and during the pandemic. I mean, it's easier during a pandemic, but that's during the inflation and during the tariffs. That stuff does not work. Short-term intensity with game tactics does not work. It is fake news, fake game, all bullshit, all optics from the other dating coaches. It's all optics. They just stand next to women, look at UMP. They only end in the fucking cab in Las Vegas at nighttime. And you were supposed to believe that they're very good, that they know what they're talking about. These guys are just nothing but platformed scammers, especially now that working with Dan Brazilian, another scammer. And then they had this fake Islam conversion, which makes you more money, that Andrew Tate has used exactly the same thing. It's all a scam. It's all about money. And people trust the white plausibility, like this guy who went to many white dating coaches using all their stuff, has 0 effect. It's all bullshit. It's all optics. You never see white people go from open to sex, from an open to pole to sex. You never see it happen for Daygame. They only show bits and pieces of optics. It's like a basketball player that pretends to shoot at the hoop and it stops, but you're like, oh, he must have scored. It's like, really? You never seen a white dating coach same day lay, but it's like, oh, but you know, you talk about this. Where are their lay testimonials? Where are their same day lay infields from open to sex? Doesn't exist for white dating coaches. It's all optics. That means all of you been scammed all these years. I know that. I just didn't say anything because I didn't want to damage the economy of Daygame. If you knew that for all the other game stuff is all a scam, and they're only getting women that are 4 out of 10 by playing a mass numbers game. If you knew the truth, you will not want to do Daygame. And while I keep posting late testimonials, because this is what the real naturals do, then you're gonna get triggered. You're gonna hate me. You're gonna get brainwashed. But even if I unbrainwashed everybody, you're just gonna say, if you cannot suck off those white dating coaches, you might as well quit. Let's not even go to Johnny Elite. But that's stupid sheep mentality.
Sure, it's that simple. It can't be that simple. How come you get pulled, you know? Like, you should have heard of his students who, 50-something-year-old German guy and pulled.
Yeah, he saw the 50-something-year-old German guy we talked about in the last challenge, getting laid with 21, 25, 21, and then afterwards a 40-year-old Megan Fox-looking stunner, 10 out of 10.
Pretty different, 21, 25-year-old German girls, right? And sometimes, like, are you sure it's so simple? And
it is
honestly, like, sometimes I'm very skeptical myself. But after I tried it and I managed to pull girls within 5 minutes, within 15 minutes, within 30 minutes, I'm like, within the first approach, especially like the Hungarian guy I met in Berlin, I put her within the first approach. The Russian girl within, we met on day 2, and then we banged and everything. So, like, the more I started using his system, the more I realized that it really works. So just trust the process. Know that John really knows his stuff. Like, he really knows his stuff about Daygame, about dating. Like, he really knows what he's doing. And just trust in the process. Trust him as a coach, and he will help you get the results.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? Isn't that fucking incredible? So this is the first time. I mean, I had to go in CapCut to change his voice so that way it can, so it's harder to identify who he is. You guys are hearing this testimonial. I don't even remember what's on it for the last two. I had no idea what was on the testimonials. Like zero ideas. I just know that he got laid, make me a video testimonial. You see that? They're not scripted because I have no idea what is being said. If it was scripted, I would know. I had no fucking clue. So ABCs of low self-esteem former coaches are saying like, oh, it sounds scripted, or actors. They're not actors. That guy has a daughter, you know, a daughter that came out with their wife, you know? So if that's the case, this is all real. These are not actors. These are Asians who've been mentally beaten up by RSD and white dating coaches. These are victims of all these white plausibility. Now that you realize that white dating coaches has never same day lay from open to sex, not even UMP, not even Todd V, not even tall self-proclaimed high lay count guy coaches, where they just go into a cab and it just ends over there. This is like really suspicious because they can't do it because you think that they're good because you're socially uncalibrated and you have social impairment. You can't see the difference. You don't understand. I can see all their mistakes in their infields just by looking at UMP. I know these guys are not as good as I say they are. They're just getting nothing but lower quality. It's just complete nonsense because they just think, oh, they must be tall, they're white, they're good looking. We must trust white people. In whites, we trust. White people are fake news. They're worse than the fake news CNN, MSNBC. Fake news, fake game. So basically, as I said, as he got results most guys only dreamed of, the new algorithms for 2025 is to focus on emotional control and tonality. You're like, what? During the pandemic, it was mostly about fixing the body language, the 45 degrees, and being socially calibrated. But during the inflation, it was about mastering social skills. And now with the tariffs and economics, uncertainty, emotional control, and tonality are the keys to success. That's why I've created the Elite Tonality Mastery 21-day challenge. That's right. I combine it with the 30-day challenge of Elite 30. And now you got 1.5 months of basic training or less, 1.2 or something like that. That will transform your day game. Even if you only practice for 10 or 15 minutes a day and you can approach only a few times per week, it doesn't matter how many times you approach. It's more like you have to drill it down like that student over there. And then it's going to work. The results will be life-changing because it is not about doing more. It's about doing the right things consistently. And that's how you win. While mass approaching fails in 2025, let's be real, mass approaching and direct game tactics don't work anymore. Using push-pulls, DHV stories, or collecting flaky phone numbers that might make you feel like you're doing something, but is not real progress. This is a distraction. This is noise. Mass approaching doesn't build skills. It reinforces bad habits. If you're approaching every single day for 21 days, mass approaching like a zombie, you are going to reinforce those bad RSD-like habits. Don't you understand that you're rushing your speech, you're hunching over, you're coming across as uncalibrated, and when you rely on those tactics, you're stuck in a loop of low self-esteem. You become delusional, thinking that you're making progress when you're really just half-assing it, relying on shortcuts instead of real skills. You're on the wrong path, spamming approach women with low-value interactions, full of cortisol due to the winner and loser effect. And when it doesn't work, you quit. It's not just about the effort. It's about how you're using your time. Would you rather spend 10 minutes a day sharpening your skills with rehearsed drills for 1.5 months or 1.2 months, which is just having a 30-day challenge plus a 21-day challenge, which is not a long time? That's literally like, you know, it's almost like fucking 1 month and 3 weeks or something, hardly any time. Or you rather spend 6 months mass approaching, wasting time, energy, and money, only to end up frustrated and stuck because during the pandemic times, it was the easiest period in the world for day game. So, question, did you used to go direct during season pickup career? Yes, when I started out, I tried every different style. I actually am a day gamer. You know how Ross Jeffries, fake news, fake game. That guy was not even a day gamer ever. He was a night gamer. I remember in 2001, that was when the lay guide happened. This is the out seduction fast forum. That's where a lot of us were. I wasn't posting. I was going to university. My very first system was NLP, just like Ross Jeffries, but I was using it from a system called Juggler. Then afterwards, I went to direct game a lot over the years, around 2005, 2006. Lots of directs start flooding in, like simple pickup, fake news, fake game. Basically, nothing happens. They barely got more than 6 testimonials overall during the training period. And then I start London Day Game, all this stuff. Yes, I have tried direct game. It has really doesn't work for a 5'7" Chinese guy like me, basically with no fucking value whatsoever. All my lays are not from direct. It is from the arrow science. This is the only thing that works for my low SMV. People are ignoring me and listening to other Asian dating coaches, even though I have the most lay testimonials of all of them for day game and pickup. They listen to the tallest and strongest ones with the most muscles first, the halo effect. But direct game does not work. It's fake news. I tried it with the other students. The only ones who got laid are all over 6 foot tall. I only got like 2 testimonials, 2 late testimonials. One guy was 6'4". He was Indian, and he got laid using direct or natural and direct when I was teaching it at the time. And then another white guy, he got like, I think 5 lays, 5 to 10 in a row using direct. But that's the thing. He was a good looking 6 foot tall white guy. He was bisexual, and he painted his nails like mystery black. And he wore like guy liner. And he says, "Is it okay if I teach him?" And I said, "I don't care. I'm not going to discriminate against you." But he says it works for men and works for women, but it didn't work for all the other Chinese. That's why I had to throw out direct game when I was teaching it. It's fake news, only 2 late testimonials. I would get exactly the same 2 or 3 late testimonials, exactly like all the other dating coaches, if I taught direct, because it wouldn't work on my body type. You might think John's decent looking, he's well dressed, but John's value is the lowest dog shit value, even lower than ABC's of a low self-esteem coach right now. He's shorter than me, but he's much better looking than me. My value is so low. I have no muscles. I'm skinny fat. But my system crushes every Asian dating coach, every white dating coach, every Indian dating coach for Daygame, every single coach in the whole fucking world, every black coach. Nobody can beat me. I have more than all of them combined, because only the arrow science works. And to make the arrow science work, you must work on your social skills, drilling it down, social calibrations, emotional control. It raises the arrow. It makes it longer. And then the arrow tip is maneuver, sexualize to the maximum, objections, looping of sexual objections. And then to make it fly, you need to have a feather, which is the whitewash fashion, the husband material, or a V-shaped body, which my students can do in 3 weeks using my program. Because now the arrow will fly. The problem with you trying to use all the other things is that the arrow is too short, because it's only game. You're always learning the same zombie game tactics, push, pose, self-amusement, fucking challenging DHV stories, and just validation. None of that shit works. Disqualification. I know every single tactic. I've tried them all. None of it works. It's all bullshit. This is the only thing that works for my body type. And I am you don't know like how you might think I'm decent looking, but women do not see me like that. You have to win every single second, keeping them on the line. It's really unfair, really unfair. But because of that, because of all that sacrifice in Vancouver, is very hard. Vancouver, it's very, very hard before that. You need a lot of social skills and to be super whitewashed over here. So all the PUAs will get demolished. That's why they're all in Vancouver. They're all into Asian women. I'm just speaking the truth. They have this Asian fetish, Asian dating, Asian PUAs and white PUAs. They're all into Asian women because it's easier, because they cannot get the white girls over there. They suck. They went direct. Does not work. Jan Lifestyle I used to teach over here. Natural and direct. Got 0 Daygame late testimonials. He only got 1 for his product, but none for the boot camps. It's all fake news. Now he goes to China. Now he goes to China. Now he's like ripping off everyone over there. Direct game is the biggest plague. A lot of you Indians and a lot of you Asians with no value tries to go direct. All the other coaches just get phone number closes. They get optics. They stand next to women in DSLR photo shoots, but you never seen them go from open to sex, because direct game is a big fucking scam. Juggler was like one of the older PUAs, right? So he was the first one to write. Juggler was the first guy to write the stuff on the PUA. In 2001, it was the first year that the PUAs gathered their knowledge. They start telling other people what they've been doing. And Juggler was doing night game. I'm pretty sure Ross and Mystery was doing night game. They should not be talking about day game. They have no understanding of it. But Juggler was doing night game, probably in the Asian countries, but he was writing field reports of what worked and what didn't work for him. And he was using NLP, which is he started with indirect. Then you start doing some kind of patterning stuff like Ross Jeffrey shit. Imagine me and this is the attraction and it's building. Can you imagine that? It's like try and do some right brain shit and then try to close indirectly. I tried it in university. One white girl says, I like what you're saying. I think is creating attraction, but I'm not attracted to you because you're Asian. But I like what you're saying. It didn't work for me. So it was fake news. I didn't lose my virginity in university. I went to art school studying animation, and I went there a few years. I got fucking demolished. I approached so many women. I approached because there's always new women coming into the campus. I approached every single lunch, every single break, trying to use this NLP shit from Juggler. The lay guide, it did not work. I was angry, and I said, there must be a better way. I'm going to learn every system in the entire world. I'm going to figure it out. And so far, even with direct game, I did not figure it out. It sounded good on paper. I had to go through everything. And only when I met my Pakistani mentor, things began to work because it was social skills, social calibrations, emotional control. Has nothing to do with game. Game is fake news. So sharpen the axe so you can cut many trees. Great advice. That's right. For me, if I were to make approaches and I did not sharpen the axe and I give direct compliments and I dress like a fuckboy, I will have 300 rejections. That's how low my SMV is. The only way that gets me laid is to practice and rehearse the drills hundreds of times in a row, or else just do it on a daily basis like I always do and practice it. Then when you go out, you just collect the lay. You don't actually try to work hard for the lay and play a numbers game and get a 4 out of 10. That's fake news. That's exactly what they get. That's a stupid game. This is how the whole industry is brought up because people believe that dating coaches in their optics because they can get a 4 out of 10. So they assume that whatever optics that they have with a woman, with a photo shoot that they probably got from Craigslist or something, then they assume that's already a lay because they can get that 4 out of 10. So the whole industry is all a scam. I'm teaching you something real that the naturals, the real naturals, not fake naturals, real naturals actually teaches. I've been mentored by 12 naturals. My Pakistani mentor introduced me in the mansion to tons of different naturals. I met a lot of different people around the world too, different naturals. They all have the same thing. Every natural has a perfect body language. They're all chilled and relaxed for emotional control. Even though they have some emotional impact, they all have a perfect body language. They all socialize with men and women. They socialize to sharpen their social skills. They're doing identical to what I do. They try to pull very quickly. They all do the same objections looping. Everything I teach is exactly identical to every single natural that I know. So I'm not just teaching you something that's zombie-like, especially over there for all these PUAs and all these dating coaches when they can barely get 0 or 1 or 2 lay testimonials a year, mostly 0. Last year, I got 56 laid and po testimonials. They got 0. And even they have 0 and they're just posting old pandemic stuff. They're putting into their bootcamp documentaries from old pandemic shit from 2020. Way back then, 2021, before the inflation, they're recutting it. They're fooling the sheeps. The platform scammers are giving fake news, especially it's kind of like, oh, these are basketball players. They're pretending to shoot at the hoop. Let's interview them. These global game platform scamming networks, let's interview them and let's hear what they have to say, even though they don't have any merit. It's kind of like I was Donald Trump. They stole the election from me. I got the most students laid last year. And now it's like now they're taking over because people are delusional, because they're so delusional that they listen to these platform scammers. They're like the far left. They're like the CNN fake news. They're like the MSNBC fake news. And that's the problem. So that's the thing. The pandemic was the easiest period. The pandemic was actually the easiest time for day game in the world. People still had money. Women's mindsets weren't affected. And even other white dating coaches were able to get their first late testimonials. Exactly. And then, but they don't have any more late testimonials beyond the pandemic times many years ago because during the lockdowns, because it makes it like It isolates women, and those with a little bit of social skills will get results. But afterwards, did they get a single student laid? No, but they have white plausibility. They have optics, and you assume they must be good. It's all the whole day game industry is a scam. It's built on assumptions. I'm the world's best day game coach. I'm here to the first one to tell you most of it, not my stuff, but most of their stuff is all a scam. It's about how many boot camps can they fill. Have you noticed that? The people that can afford the boot camps, the most zombies are the Asperger engineers. They can afford a boot camp because they think it's compressed. They think they're saving time. Same with the other Asian student who's also very Asperger-like, very logical. But for him, he thought the boot camp was faster. It was not faster. That was fake news. That was actually, instead, he went to long-term consistency, not short-term intensity. And then he got laid 15 times. Now he's a father. He has an actress wife. Who the hell does that? Same day lays in one approach in Berlin, also bangs 5 white girls, and also like he also had a foursome too from Daygame. There was one other guy and 3 other girls. So it's not like he banged the other guy. It's more like he was just there. But all this results from one student that actually just followed through. He did all the drills. This is what happens. This is the secret. And if I don't do drills, I'll be fucked. I'll be exactly the same as all of you, getting fucking demolished. But when I do the drills, everything flows perfectly. And then just collect the lay is super easy. Day game is super easy. But if you had a 30-day challenge and a 21-day challenge, and you had the elite access of me looking over it, so I don't have to spend so much time reteaching you elite tonality mastery. This is why Elite Bundle Resurrections, the new bundle that replaced Elite Bundle 2, this is the new update. And here's the thing. If you want or you're interested, you should go and contact me on my Contact Me form on my website right now. And I just updated it. You have a drop-down menu if you want it. For example, you want a 15-minute consultation. You can have a 15-minute consultation. If you want a 15-minute strategy session where I'll answer one question about game, and then afterwards, I'll tell you about my courses. You can do that there. Or you're inquiring about the Elite Bundle Resurrections. You can do that there. Because from now on, people are going to be doing the 30-day challenge, and then they're going to be doing the 21-day challenge afterwards, depending on the ethnicity. So here's the thing. They're still recycling the same testimonials today from the pandemic. They're recutting them. They're putting them into bootcamp documentaries and pretending they're recent. But that era is over. But they filled their boot camps because platform scamming networks. Then came the inflation. The inflation started in 2022, but it hit its peak in 2023 and continued into 2024. This is when most dating coaches stopped getting lay testimonials for day game. It became extremely rare. I, on the other hand, got 56 late and po testimonials in 2024. I couldn't even post them all. There was just too many late testimonials. People were ignoring me like crazy. They're acting like they're super poor. This is unacceptable. You should invest in yourself, not into these platform scamming networks. Nobody cared. I posted them, so I posted a thumbnail instead, so that way it's scheduled for the future. At least you know it's there. Now you can hear some of the testimonials for them that has been unreleased. And guess what? For this student, I didn't even post his testimonials yet. For this one, for the, scheduling it, I did not post these 4 yet. That means I have over 40 video testimonials that has been unreleased. During the first 2 challenges, I've been posting them nonstop, and all of a sudden, nobody cares. That's why I scheduled them instead, because I thought I was going to throw them into the dumpster fire. If I keep posting testimonials and nobody cares, then what's the point of posting it? So maybe it's not good, but I should post them now as soon as possible, maybe after this challenge. But it was like Donald Trump. I won the elections last year, 2024, but people say it doesn't count because they don't care. We're in the Biden era now. We're basically into the woke era where people are brainwashed by optics and fake news. Dating coaches standing next to women, pretending they're shooting balls in the hoop. They never see a white dating coach, same day lay. They're all brainwashed by the far left. It's almost like fake news CNN. They can't see the truth. It's like the far left destroying the country, except in this case is the global game platform scamming network destroying the day game industry. So 2025 and beyond, the tariff era. Today is day 3 of the tariffs. We're in 2025, and it's even tougher. I've already got students laid already. I also got them married, and some of them are procreating. But you found out one of the Indian students last time in the last challenge, we found out that his fuck buddy, who he was about to give birth to my Indian student's kid, which is a daughter, she just had a miscarriage. I just found out. That's unfortunate. I told him what to text to get her to open up, but found out it was a miscarriage. So, but the other student still had a daughter. So these things do happen, especially when you have an older woman, giving birth. It happens, is more common than you think. Most people don't realize that. But when we talk about this year, while other coaches are relying on optics because they can't get real results for their students, another student was also about to be a father, like I said, but yeah, miscarriage. The optics game. Here's the optics game. This is how it works. These coaches, they show short infields where they pull women, but they don't actually have sex. And this was before the pandemic for ABCs of low self-esteem company. They just have to maneuver the women home, with these stupid con people, KHAN artists, and nothing happens. They went indirect. They post some Asian trash home. This other Asian dating coach who was Korean post some white girl home. Nothing happened, but they become coaches. Even this other guy who was in Asia, called lawyer or something, they just post some women home, and then nothing happens. But because they maneuvered her there, they become coaches for that company. That was fake news before the pandemic. Fake news. Once their instructors pose not sex, they're dating coaches. What the hell? Treating day game like an afterthought. Because these former ABCs of low self-esteem coaches, and there's also another former coaches of theirs called the Galian Gentlemen. Okay? The Galian Gentlemen. Or I should call them the Galian Gentlewomen, because the hairstyle looks like a woman. They have like 6 lay testimonials, but none of them from day game. They're in Latin countries. One of them is from USA Night Game, where they claim a student's engaged. Of course, all the other testimonials are just flaky Latinas that are not flaky, that are from Latin countries, that want to marry for a green card. And that's how they get their students. Any results from night game, nothing from day game. There's no proof that these coaches are just standing next to women in a nightclub, and they have written testimonials of their students. They're in a nightclub dancing, and they take a picture of the students, and they write their testimonials for their students. They have 6 videos. They slandered my name and dragged it across the mud, across Reddit, not Reddit, but in the Discord, because on Reddit, they can access Discord. They drag my name through the mud. They try to say my testimonials are fake. They're jealous people. They try to say they're actors. They're reading from a script. There is no script. I don't even know what the Asian testimonial said. I just had to censor the voice and put it online. I had no idea what was being said. I can't remember everything like that. I have so many testimonials. They just send me whatever, and then I just say thank you. They get nothing. They have nothing. There's no reward for giving me a testimonial. They just get on my good side. They don't get yelled at. They just have good job. That's it. So that's the thing. But this company, this Galian Gentleman, slandered my name to all the Asians on the Discord. They always said, like, they turn off all the Asians to me because of Discord servers saying that my late testimonials were actors and they sound scripted. None of them are actors. They all sound like that. That's how they talk, like they're Asperger's or autistic. And when they're the ones who scripted their testimonial page, writing the testimonials themselves, that's the thing, because they claim they have better day game content, but it's super autistic. None of the people actually got laid in their day game content in their boot camps, which they had to give away for free in New York. They only got Insta-date, complete fake news. These guys using mystery method, ABCs of a low self-esteem Asian method does not work. Fake news, fake game. That's the thing. They should not be coaches. All my students are real. None of them are actors. This is not AI or some shit. Even though I use AI images for advice videos sometimes, you should never think any of this is AI, because all my students, they got laid since 2016 when I posted online their video testimonials. They're just monotone as engineers. They're just jealous. They'll be dealt with, but these Asians with their Latin tours and their night game muscle maxing will be dealt with, as they'll be roasted, and they have taken away all the Asian potential. They have flushed it down the toilet because of these people. I can prove every single student paid me for the coaching. I have all their invoices, their entire video testimonial. I have the conversations leading up to it on WhatsApp. Everything can be posted. I can defend myself beyond a shadow of a doubt that the students got laid. They have the lay pictures. I have all the proof in the world. I have all their homework assignments. These guys cannot even prove that these testimonials are fake. It's fake news when they've slandered my name, drag it across the mud. It's almost like saying it's like the Russian collusion hoax or something. It's fake news. They have no right to say that. They turn off all the Asians to me, and I have to fight for myself while they listen to these tall, strong Asian coaches. They're always better looking than me. And this is the problem. I don't tell the students what to say on the testimonials. Maybe I say the date so they know it happened during the inflation, and say that they got laid, which is true. Because sometimes they might say the word pulled, like they might think, what, did they move her back home? Pull? No, that which is wrong. So, or take, or I just say that, mention that they took in the course Elite Bundle 2 or something like that, which is a fact. And the rest is up to the students. They can say whatever they want. I don't care. I just found out what was on that testimonial. So I just made the video testimonial, and they're grateful because I just asked them, can you make a video testimonial? They're very grateful. They got their dicks wet. So they say yes. If I ask them 1 month afterwards, they'll say no. But as we discussed this in the last challenge, when someone asked if they got anything. So basically, they get nothing out of it. They only get the word good job or not being yelled at. And that's the funny thing, because ABC's a low self-esteem. For one guy who just bought Elite 30, told me everything. ABC's wrote his testimonial for the social media. They used Photoshop. They rewritten exactly what he did not say. Also, another student that was a former ABC's of low self-esteem student, we can play his testimonial for one of them. The other one, I still have to censor it, which has not been posted publicly yet. I can actually censor it right now and play it for you guys here. He banged 2 white girls in the United States. For this guy, he was being given a free product from ABC's of low self-esteem company for low self-esteem Asians if he writes a good review on Google or Facebook reviews, which is why it's fake news. You never trust reviews. You can only trust when the students get laid or not. And he got laid twice, and many from Night Game, but didn't work for them. He got 0 lays from ABC's of low self-esteem. For these gallant gentlemen or gentlewomen for their hairstyle, these people go to Latin countries to stand next to women as a club promoter game. As usual, status maxing is not even transferable to others in the first world country who isn't status maxing with extra high status job like that, high status lifestyle, also third world money status advantage, and also exotic advantage. But when they come to the United States, they get fucking demolished. They can only do night game. They can't do day game. They can't transfer their skills, and they just stand next to women with DSLR photo shoots. Also, they said they had better day game content. It was the most autistic, foolish clips from New York where their students got demolished. They couldn't get laid over there. And the only thing is that they got insta-date, no big deal. This is why they should not teach day game. Why will you go to them when you can just go to ABC's of low self-esteem, who has more late testimonials than they do for day game? In total, they probably have close to 8 or 9 in total, not that many, but that's more than this company. Just because they defected from the ABC's of low self-esteem does not make them better coaches. And in fact, they're even worse coaches. Why would anyone waste a single dollar on these people when they write their testimonials for their students? They type it out. Why would I trust a type-out testimonial that doesn't count? You need a video testimonial. We need to see the lay pics. This is nothing but fake news and fake game. Am I saying it's fake? No. But I'm just saying, in my opinion, it looks very suspicious. But I'm just using the phrase fake news as Donald Trump does. So for that company, I'm roasting them right now. I say you should not trust them. They have no right to badmouth me and turn off all the other Asians. They will be dealt with. They will be roasted. And this is the Dunning-Kruger effect, which means unskilled individuals with low skills, and they think they are superior. That's what they call the Dunning-Kruger effect. Narcissistic much? The only lay proof they ever showed was in ABC's of low self-esteem Asians forum group. I know because their students were part of it. And who knows, when they posted some lay pics, it was probably could be from Tinder or maybe Night Game before the pandemic, which was super easy because it's not 20L to 35. It is only 15 out of 35, but during the inflation, yeah, right. Just keep standing next to women taking DSLR optic photos for club promoter shit. What a joke. Maybe for me, I was the first one to post a bunch of YouTube shorts. When you type Asian dating coach, maybe it flooded and it criticized ABCs of low self-esteem. Maybe it directly attacked them, which is not intentional. Maybe that's why they cannot get any clients whatsoever, because I kept posting that. But if they are not able to get people laid, then that is their fault. But instead, they have to drag my name through the mud completely. That's a defamation of character, and that is slander, and that is libel. When you say these are actors or whatever, prove it, motherfucker. Oh, because they sound they're Asians, they're engineers. What do you expect? They all sound like that. We already went over it for the first day of the challenge. Fuck these people. They'll show you posts from nightclub photos for the forum groups, or maybe Tinder, who knows. And right now they just stand next to women. Nothing happens. So if they do poll, they show like, for ABCs of low self-esteem, recently they polled 3 women home that are in their 20s, and they still show the women's faces. They wrote the word poll. They never said lay. That's the reason why the women will allow them to have it over there. They probably told the women that they were dating coaches, and the women were like, that's cool. They're just going to sleep over. Nothing happened. Nobody had sex. And for them, that is like, if they didn't write, they got laid, and it's probably just a demonstration. What a joke for their company. The students the only results that he got was a Tinder in Latin countries, or yeah. That's the thing. Only one time they got a student laid for Daygame. It was in Mexico or Peru. One guy got laid. Only one guy during the entire inflation. Just one guy got laid. That's it. Because it's misery method, game. Game is all bullshit. Now you know, due to the inflation and the tariffs, which is easy for my students there. But Tinder isn't pickup. It is not Daygame. You can use AI images now to swipe. It is not the same as real skills. And then there's a seeking arrangements coaches that uses it as a lead gen. Some coaches are using it as lead generation and passing it off as pickup or a Daygame. Standing next to women in an elevator from seeking arrangements lead gen is not a lay testimonial or anything. It's not like a lay. That should count as a joke. Basically, these white coaches, they'll just stand next to women in an elevator from seeking arrangements, and now you think they're good, but you never seen them go from anything from open to sex for Daygame. It always ends in the cab, and everything cuts off conveniently every single time. So if ABC low self-esteem coach used pictures of a dog to pull, I'm not sure, but if they did that, who gives a shit, right? So who gives a shit what they do? Fuck that company. You know, it's like, just because they're in the platform scamming network for that company does not mean they have authority, because they're boosting other scammers just like them, all of them who has less late testimonials than me. This whole election last year for the inflation was stolen. Just like Donald Trump's election was stolen. People just ignored it completely. They don't care about all the student results I gotten. They completely stole the elections. They completely brainwashed people. It's just like right now at this time, it's like, it's not like the tariff. It's like Biden just won. And now it's the beginning of hell for the next few years. These platform scammers will scam the shit out of you. They'll brainwash all of you. And all these guys are just going to use optics. You never see open to sex. All it's going to be nonstop optics, 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 optics. Do you ever teach Ben Chode in Berlin, the Daygamer? You teach? I don't know what the question means. Like, have I taught Indians in Berlin or something? I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure it's not going to be that hard. Just don't look Indian. That's all. Just look like a different race. Try to look blackwash or something. You'll be fine. All right, let's continue. Why mass approaching doesn't work. Mass approaching is like hacking away at a tree with a dull blade. You're putting all this effort. You're not making any progress. It doesn't teach you tonality, as your tonality will get worse due to the winner and loser effect. It doesn't improve your body language, as you will hunch more due to getting rejected nonstop with the winner and loser effect. It doesn't build emotional control. Your tonality will sound more depressed than ever, angry or beta sounding. And without those skills, you get stuck because your tonality will betray you. So there are 3 adjustment periods that are tougher. So I'll be making a big adjustment for this year. In 2025, my training is going to change. So I'll tell you about the 3 periods that you have to adjust for. All those POAs in the Discord together. I don't know if they're in the Discord together, but I believe in my theory that a lot of these dating coaches are probably trying to go on Discord, trying to find clients. I don't do that. I go on YouTube, right? Occasionally. I don't want to go to the toxic POAs. These guys are backstabbers. But anyways, let's play the testimonials again. So just in case people forget of this Asian student, if you missed it, we'll play it quickly. Okay, so. Oh, shit. Did I upload in the right place? Hold on. Recent. Oh, shit. I don't know where this is right now. Hold on. I uploaded this testimonial, but maybe in the wrong area. I should upload Johnny Elite Dating. Okay.
Okay, everyone, I'm going to do a quick testimonial for my dating coach, John Elite. So recently,
I'll play it faster. 1.25.
managed to lay with a model. She's 180 cm tall.
This is a 5'8" Chinese guy, 15 lays, 5 models, 5 white girls, 2 actresses, and he married one of the actresses, and now he's a father. He has a daughter. This is all from Daygame.
We just met her, me, I'm only like 175, okay? It was from a B2. I met her at a food court at night around 9 p.m. I met her at a food court, and then I got her Instagram within like 1 minute, and I scheduled a day 2. She keeps saying, I don't know. So I picked her up, and we watched a movie. After making like a movie, she did a hand job in the movie house. I was touching her pussy, her fuse red and everything. And I wanted to go to my house, okay? I took a taxi there, and on the way I realized I didn't bring my key. I'm like, fuck. So at the shopping mall, I tried to do it in the toilet. I put her to a staircase. We made out for a while, did a bit of like and all this kind of stuff. She was touching my car. I was fingering her and all that. Because she was living with 2 other models. Okay, so 3 of them were in the hotel. They were sitting in the same room. So she called her friend and she kicked 2 of her friends out of the room just so we could have sex, right? She brought me back to her room. We had sex. And then that was the end of the night. Okay, but how did John help me in this whole journey? Okay, so I got him I engaged him as my coach about a week ago. And honestly, it's my first day game ever since I got him as coach. And in my first day game, I managed to get a date. Okay, and I think I did about maybe 6 approaches that night. Yeah, she's taller than me, but exactly everything is sleep. Everything's a science. I used to be at RSD. I used to go for RSD bootcamp, and honestly, it's like everyone's just stand up watching. Imagine 10 guys going to a bootcamp, just stand up watching people getting blown out within like 30 seconds to 1 minute. So I usually also in the bootcamp. So Johnny Lee is definitely better.
Oh, here's an Indian telling me my videos are too long. That's stupid because he has ADHD, right? Maybe that's a good idea, but maybe because you're ADHD, that's why you failed my course and that's why you got kicked out. Now you prove to me that Indians have ADHD issues, which I'm going to talk about very soon. All right, I'm just calling out a guy with super ADHD. This Indian guy saying it's too long, right? So this is second testimonial when he banged the first white girl.
Last night was a really awesome night. And I just followed John's social status for you. And I didn't really sexualize. And I realized that sexualizing sometimes does not work. Like, for example, a lot of Chinese students, maybe RSD, you tell you to sexualize it, but I think you can just flirt without sexualizing. So, for example, flirting could be only for very nice legs or very nice legs, or with a slower tone of voice, but it is different from just like sexualizing. Right? And then she just left all of a sudden. I was like, what the fuck? When did she just left? Like, she just left, you know, and she said, oh, no, actually, sorry, I actually informed you before that. Anyway, let's go to the key. And the next day, I told John's text, and then suddenly she said she wants to meet me at my hotel husband material frame, which John told me that there's 6 frames, and like, I don't always have to go by the cover frame, I can go by other frames, so I tried the husband material frame, and we're going to travel the world together. We have Russian and Asian babies, you know, like dessert, and I went back to the bedroom, and we had sex. So the best sex ever. She came 3 times. She was so tight and lovely, like the way she opened up her legs for me to fuck her. So that was the Russian lady. Okay, so I'm quite happy about that because I've always wanted to marry Russian girl. I hate like Spanish girls and Brazilian girls and other girls, but not Russian girls. What happened recently was with an Indonesian model, and I met her outside the club within 1 minute. Okay, wasn't in the club, but within 1 minute, I took her back home, and like a scooter came, we got on the scooter together, and she came back home within 1 minute of the interaction. Another model that I met, Asian model, a few days ago, she messaged me, I met her straight back hotel, and we had like really good sex as well. Yeah, away from all the other coaches, like, you know, they tell you like bullshit. So I want to do a quick testimonial for my coach.
Hold on a second.
I came to
This one.
the cute test. She talking like within 10 minutes. I need to meet her, and things didn't really work out. So John told me to just do conference together. So what happened was I met okay, I came to Germany, okay, to meet a German girl that I met in an Asian island. So after we met in the Asian island, she came to my country, and then after that, I flew to Germany to meet her. And things didn't really work out. So John told me to just, do one day game in Berlin or something instead. So I went to Berlin, okay. And on the first day, in the first approach, I was talking to my roommate because I stay in a hostel. So I was talking to my roommate, and she turned out to be this hot, white, blonde Hungarian girl. Okay. So after that, we started talking. Like within 10 minutes, we started talking about clubbing.
Yeah, I mean, Berlin is the easiest country in the world. So no, it's not that. It's just I kicked out this guy who is from New Zealand. He was always procrastinating during his assignments. I'll talk about this soon in this challenge. He always procrastinated. Indians always runs away. You say Sri Lankan is not Indian, but it is Indian to me. They're brown. They'll run away and they bench hold. So I'm going to call him out. I'm going to call him out because he has ADHD. That's why he's delusional, because he never completes any task. So his emotional bank account goes down, his ego goes up, self-esteem goes down. 4 traits of low self-esteem. So therefore, he'll half-ass everything. Then the self-esteem goes down. And he started taking breaks. And then he said, I promise I'll come back in 3 months. And after 3 months, I call him out. He kept calling me bro. Hey, bro, 3 months, bro. And then he says, I need another 2 months. And I kicked him out. I say, fuck you. You're like bench holding like an Indian. And that's what happened. But now he's still in the elite day game, or first steps WhatsApp group. But that was really uncool, because this is the truth. Indians, and his other Indian over there just bought Elite Tonality Mastery. He upgraded from Elite Bundle 2. He also got mental trauma cure. He's also procrastinating. He has to write down 10 mental traumas for me, but so far he has not been able to do it. And this is going to be like already 3 or 4 days. This is how Indians are like during 2025. They're a slippery bunch. Whenever you force them to do something, they'll run away. They'll run away as fast as they can because they have no focus. They have ADHD, the highest ADHD in the entire world. If you look at the prevalence of ADHD for children in general, and they have a score, and they have higher than Latinos, they have higher than every ethnicities in the entire world. Indians are insufferable. Outside of Asperger's syndrome or being an engineer, these guys cannot do anything else. Asperger's is the only reason why people can tolerate Indians, because they do the engineering jobs. Outside of that, it's like they have nothing else going for them except procrastination and sociopathy with huge narcissism.
Drugs and sex and all this kind of stuff already. And then after that, we went to get food and get food together and get clothing together for Halloween costume. And then after that, I see the sex even more, did the cute test. She agreed to having sex one day and all this kind of stuff. And then after that, I put her back. I booked another 4-star hotel because like the hostel is a shared dormitory, right? So I booked a 4-star hotel and spent the night with her and give her like 5 orgasms. And then after that, we became like fuck buddies. Like we would see each other almost every day. So it's still a pretty good trip so far. So I want to go.
Is that cool? What the fuck? Now let's switch over to my other account. That's where I posted. And this is the last testimonial, number 4. You've never heard these before. These are all brand new. These are new testimonials. Like, of course, they sent it to me before, but I changed the voice today. You guys never heard this before. That means I have so many video testimonials that you've never heard of in your entire life. They have never been posted.
Hey everyone, I just want to give
I'll make it faster. 1.5. 1.25.
Because he's really the best dating coach in the world. Okay. After his coaching, I was coaching with him for maybe about 6 months. Okay. And in about 6 months' time, I was able to lay at least 15 girls through Daygame and a lot more through Tinder. Okay. And out of these 15 girls, 5 were models. quite a number of them were white. I think at least 5 of them were white girls. Okay, one was a Hungarian girl, a blonde Hungarian girl. One Russian girl. I told many very beautiful 9-upon-10 Russian girls. Told an American girl within 5 minutes of approaching. Okay, like within 30 seconds of approaching, we made out, and then I pulled her to the bar, and then I brought her back home. Within about 5 to 15 minutes. And then another Turkish girl, many models, etc. Okay, and now I even had 2 actresses, and one of the actresses became my girlfriend, and I'm about to marry her. So that's why I've not been doing the game for a long time, because I've been busy in my relationship, and I'm settling down because I've gone over up to now about 150 days so far. So that's why I'm thinking that, okay, maybe it's about time to like.
Yeah, some of us from Tinder, but 15 of them are from Daygame. Yeah, so basically today I'm posting Asians, right? But I've already posted other ethnicities. Just go look at my testimonial section for the videos. I can post as many. I have every ethnicity laid. So
The game is, I played quite enough, and it's about time to settle down.
Because the reason why I'm posting about Asians is because people have this mental bullshit belief that Asians is hard. And a lot of Asians have quit because of queefing canceled, Casanova, and their stupid other Asian, which is called Chin. What's his name? I don't remember. Chin something. This bulky looking compound Ninja Turtle Asian guy forcing other people with their podcasting format. They got brainwashed and queefing canceled. Casanova got canceled again. In Brazil, they hosted a party with David James Bond, which they're polling underage girls for their students, and now they're in trouble with the Brazilian police, and they're running from the law. They're canceled again over and over. And then now you have ABCs who are in the front and center, basically just bulking up with their muscles. And then you have other Asian dating coaches with their rectangular face. They have like 2 lay testimonials, and they just stand next to 2 women pictures, which they probably are just taking a DSLR photo shoot or a friend zone frame, hanging around with them. It's all optics now for these other Asians. They're all full of shit. They never done the same delay from open to sex. These guys have no idea what they're talking about. They're the worst coaches, even worse than the white people, the other Asian dating coaches. They only stuck with Night Game and Tinder. That's it. They can't do day game. And they made all the other Asians quit, telling them that they need muscles. They need more muscles and Asian masculinity wash. Fuck these people. So he ran to Thailand. Okay. The easiest country in the world, right?
It's not my own family. And I really want to thank John, because he taught me the arrow theory, and he also taught me social calibrations and also the tonalities, because being from an Asian country, I have an accent to communicate with girls. And he taught me in terms of fashion. He gave me the supplements to take, the gym workouts to use. He's really a holistic dating coach. And if you want to get results, you definitely need to look for John. And even while I was being coached by John, sometimes I got distracted. I tried to learn other things, because I used to learn from RST. I also learned from John Anthony, and I took a bootcamp with RST, paid over 2,000 plus USD, and didn't get any results, 0 results. Okay, I took a bootcamp with, I learned John Anthony's home countries and also his list machine, and I got 0 results. Like, none of his stuff worked. I tried it again and again, and I'm someone who implements a lot, so it's not that I didn't implement. I implemented, and I still didn't get results. And while I was with John, I still got distracted. Okay, I'm sorry, John. I actually got distracted, and I had a friend who joined UMP. And he said UMP was really good, so I checked out their content, and I tried to implement everything that he taught, and I couldn't get any results. So he taught me how to sexualize straight away and all that, and I just got blowout after blowout. It just didn't work. He said, "Oh, you need to be dominant and all that." No, it just didn't work. Like, Johnny's stuff works. UMP's stuff does not work. Okay, so and here's the thing: if you're already a student of John, sometimes when you're going through the thing, you might think, are you sure? Like, it's so simple, because John makes it so simple and so easy to do. And sometimes you're like, are you sure it's that simple? It can't be that simple. How come you can pull, like, you should have heard of his students who 57-year-old German guy who can pull 3 different 21, 25-year-old German girls, right? And sometimes like, are you sure it's so simple? And honestly, like, sometimes I'm very skeptical myself. But after I tried it, and I managed to pull girls within 5 minutes, within 15 minutes, within 30 minutes, I'm like, within the first approach, especially the Hungarian guy, Benny Brody, I pulled her within the first approach. The Russian girl, we met on day 2, and we banged and everything. So like the more I started using his system, the more I realized that it really works. So just trust the process. Know that John really knows his stuff. Like he really knows his stuff about Daygame, about dating. Like he really knows what he's doing. And just trust in the process. Trust him as a coach, and he will help you get the results that you want. Cheers.
See, that's it. Not short-term intensity, long-term consistency. Practicing the drills. He's been practicing the drills ever since. It's like planting a seed, watering it daily. Eventually, it sprouts off the ground. Hey, am I back? Am I back? It crashed, right? But I think we found a way to come back. We're resurrected, right? Can you guys hear me? Testing, 1, 2, 3. If it works, we're going to continue. If it works, just type something. So let me check on the thing. If it works, I'm just going to continue reading from the script. Testing.
I'm just going to continue reading from the script. Testing. Well, around the world, too. Well, it's just like right now, at this time is... I'm in the same time. You guys never heard this before. That means I have so many video testimonials.
Oh, it's working. It's fucking working. I could hear it. All right, let's continue, right? Let's not waste time. So, as I was saying, where the fuck were we? Oh, yeah. We're talking about the 3 adjustment periods. And we're going to talk about ethnicity. All right? Let's continue. Let's continue, right? So, let me announce, right? We're back. We are back, right? We are back, right? Unfrozen. Continue, right? All right, I'll cut this part out of the video afterwards. All right? It doesn't end until I say it ends. So if you guys can see me, then please say something. There must be somebody here, right? So if I'm still online, then I'm going to keep streaming. I see 0 people here.
I see 0 people here.
Oh, who cares? You know, even if there's 1 person here, right? It's working, right? It's fucking working. That means this video, we can continue it. So, woo, I wouldn't want to make a part 2. So let's continue, right? If it crashes again, we'll restart it again. We can resurrect this back to life because the message needs to be out there. I can always cut this part out later. All right, let's continue. Woo. All right, the 3 adjustment periods. Let me tell you a story about a boxer named Mayweather Jr., 50 wins, 0 losses. He always loses the first few rounds. Then he makes an adjustment. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Then sometimes he would make 3 adjustments in the fight, even though he was being demolished by a Mexican before. And the first 2 adjustments did not work. Then he wins big for the rest of the fight. Very few people can make that many adjustments, but I can. Let's talk about the 3 toughest periods and how I made the adjustments. The first one is the pandemic. During the pandemic, I focused on body language. Elite 30 and the Kaizen program were all about social calibrations. Don't worry, we'll talk about race afterwards and how this all relates. That's what you guys want to hear, right? We'll get to that. We'll get to that. The adjustments work because body language is the foundation of Daygame, because that's 55% of the communications, 38% is your tonality, and 5 or 7% is your words, which is fake news, fake game. But it was the 30-day challenge by installing habits that makes it work. Inflation was the second adjustment period. During the inflation, I added social skills to the mix. Now, social calibrations is 2.5 points social calibrations, and social skills. Another 2.5 points. That makes it 5 points for the 20 out of 35, which got me so many late testimonials nonstop. Basically, I also added in 2024 a bit of tonality for elite access. A lot of this stuff was top secret. This is the first time I'm revealing it right now to the public. So, excellent. Let's continue. So, even if it's one person, who cares, right? Whatever it takes, as long as I'm here, that's all that really matters. Everything else, that's great. So, they can't stop us. They can't stop us. So, all right. Looking at a challenge for a different YouTube channel. Yes, it still works. Let's see. Yes, it still works. So, all right. I'll give it a like or something from my second channel. So basically, a bit of tonality for elite access, which is the elite tonality mastery, which is I'm going to release it. You can get a voucher now for the course. I'm still cutting the course. It is over like 15 hours. I have to cut it down to maybe 10 hours. It is super long, plus a 21-day challenge. But the new course is called Elite Tonality Mastery. And all these drills in one. It was top secret until now, as it got so many students laid from it, using this stuff for all the other students that I didn't teach the public. 2025. What is the new adjustments? That means we have to change whatever we're doing. In the past, the adjustments were not effective as much, so we have to make more changes again. So now in 2025, the focus is on emotional control and tonality, along with the social skills, social calibrations, and emotional control. Now we need to make sure that they got the tonality down. That's 7.5 points in total. 2.5 points for social calibrations, 2.5 points for social skills flow drill, 2.5 points for emotional control for tonality, 7.5 points, 20 out of 35. Of course, the game can add another 2.5 points to aero science, but that takes a lot of skills because you need the other 3 to be able to do that one. Each of these are 2.5 points each towards the line of fuckability, 20 out of 35. These are the skills that will set you apart in today's world. And these are the adjustments that are to be made. So let's talk about the ethnicities, okay? We finally got to the section that you want to hear. So, okay. Okay, let me post this stuff over here onto the WhatsApp group. I'm going to call out Indians and their ADHD right now. Okay, I'm restarting it, but it still worked. It crashed, but I restarted my computer. All right, let's continue. We don't have time to waste. Let's talk about the ethnicities. You guys have been wanting, but it only says one person is here. That's not good. Only one person? Really? Can't be just one person. Is that incorrect or something? It says it only has, what, 21 views? Seriously? This is super low. Oh, is it going to freeze again? It might freeze again. Okay, we're still here. So let's talk about it. If one person's here, it's good enough. So, yeah, where the fuck are you? I don't write that. Fuck are you? Right? Okay. A real message. All right, 2 people. Let's continue. All right, so which ethnicity struggles the most? That's what you guys want to hear. But not everyone is following through. Here's why 3 groups are struggling the most. Asians were struggling in 2023. Asians gave up on Daygame. It wasn't because of ADHD or sociopathy like the other ethnicities. It was because of narcissistic personality disorder and their blind belief in the halo effect. They convinced themselves that looks, muscles, and height were all that mattered because they started worshiping platform scammers who sold them this delusion. The platform scammers. Let's talk about ABCs of low self esteem. Asian company. They've been pushing the same narrative for years that just bulk up, hit the gym, and you'll succeed in day game. But here's the truth. They don't even do day game themselves. Their results comes from Tinder in Latin countries where women are more receptive to foreigners. Even their like testimonials are almost non-existent for day game. Then there's Queefing canceled, Casanova. Basically, this tall, strong Asian dating coach was canceled in Brazil because his students were at a party pulling underage girls. He is running from the law in Brazil, but his followers still worships him because he fits the image of what they think is a successful dating coach should look like. That's Asian with muscles. It's all optics. It's all optics. And don't forget his friend Chin Nation or Chin National, whatever to call it. This guy claims to be the top 1% dating coach. Delusional, Delulu. Completely delusional. And basically, where are the student results for day game or pickup? There is none. So there's not a single day game late testimonial. How are you the top 1%? These are how delusional these people are because they cannot stop getting clients because they're platform scammers and more optics posing like a bulky compound Ninja Turtle using his height. He's not tall, but using his muscles to sell the illusion of success. And then you got the Galilean gentlewomen and their Dunning-Kruger effect. The Galilean gentlewomen, this team of two coaches, is another example of why Asians are stuck. They only have 6 video testimonials to their name. Fake news, worse than fake news CNN. And all of them are from Night Game in Latin countries, except for one, where some of them got engaged because the women wanted a green card to come to the United States where they'll be deported by ICE. So, having said that, there's not a single day game late testimonial because it's fake news. And their so-called day game is laughable. Their students couldn't even get anything more than an instant date in New York. These guys are completely delusional to the maximum. If that's all they can get, then you're being scammed out of your money because that's not results. Getting an instant date. They have no idea what they're talking about. Complete fake news. And their testimonials are all written by them. And they just have a picture of a student on the dance floor. That doesn't really count. What the hell is that? Let's be real. New York is not a hard place, but my students get laid there very easily, including Asians. But here's the kicker that they claim their day game is better than mine for their content, but it was the most autistic Dunning-Kruger effect in action, where unskilled individuals thinking they're superior. They're more delusional than the far left lunatics, the Democrats. They're crashing out. Meanwhile, their testimonials are written by them, they're scripted, and the only proof they have is a picture of a student standing next to a woman in a nightclub in a fucking Latin country. That's it. And you might think, well, you might as well go to ABCs of a low self-esteem versus Galilean gentlewomen where they come from. Because defecting from them doesn't make them any better. And here's the problem is the rankings and the halo effect. Here's the irony about the Asians. I'm the best Asian dating coach in the world. I have the most day game late testimonials, more than all these coaches combined. I have actual same day late infields that they cannot fucking do. And yet Asians rank me at the very bottom. Why? Because of the halo effect. Asians are the biggest sheeps in the world because of their narcissism and their sociopathic traits. The more delusional you are, the more you worship. This is why Latinos and Indians love to worship too. They're narcissistic sociopaths. They don't care about results. They care about optics of the coach. Why am I different than these guys? Even the other coaches, these Asians, Leroys with their long faces, and they only stand next to women and they claim they're so great. They only have like 2 day game late testimonials, 2 or 3 at most in their entire career. They should not be coaches. and they're bragging about manifesting money in 2024 on their Facebook, and they're making this much money, even though they have no results for their students because of the halo effect. The Asians are the biggest sheeps of all time. The biggest sheeps. There's only 2 people here. I can't believe it. Just when they should not have crashed. Fuck, man. Let me post it again, right? Don't fucking leave. This stream resurrected, right? Let's see if that works. Okay. All right, let's continue. So why am I different? I don't rely on optics. I have no height. I have no muscles whatsoever, but I have the most day game lay testimonials in the world. More than their fucking night game shit. Unlike these platformed scammers, I show infields from open to sex. No other Asian dating coach has ever accomplished that in their life. Chin Nations and ABC's queefing canceled Casanova, Galian gentlewomen, they never showed that before. They only stand next to women, or they do some night game shit and some Tinder glorified shit in Latin countries. That's not pickup. It's not day game. And even if queefing cancel Casanova, students could pull from night game in an easy place like Las Vegas. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Even my students could do that there. The Asperger syndrome problem. Here's another thing most Asians don't realize. A lot of these coaches have Asperger syndrome. Their main coaches are former engineers or biotech engineers. They don't have the social skills to teach day game. Their underlings, their minions, are just as bad. Even these minions, defects, they're still learning from the wrong systems with the mystery method shit, with wrong mental filters of Asperger's and engineers. That's why Asians are stuck. They're following people who don't have the right skills or the right mindset. My message to Asians before we talk about other ethnicities. Okay? Shit, still 2 people. I'm not sure what's up. I spent 2 years during the inflation years dealing with these platform scammers. Where did it get you? Okay, you dealt with them for 2 years. It got you nowhere. You wasted 2 years listening to people who told you it's all about muscles and Asian masculinity. You became delusional and you got so offended by me that you quit day game forever. But here's the thing. The more offended you are, the more sociopathic you are. Higher ego, lower self-esteem. Maybe it's time to take another look, because these platform scammers haven't delivered in the last 2 years. The only one who got a lay testimonials was ABCs of low self-esteem Asians, and it was in a Latin country like Mexico or Peru. Who cares about that? It's time to stop worshiping optics and start focusing on real results. Let's talk about Indians. Oh, this is going to get good. Let's talk about Indians. I'm going to speak in an Indian accent then. Okay. So why Indians have been struggling the most in 2024? Indians have been struggling more than ever in 2024. The ADHD is off the charts and it's holding them back in every way. According to science studies, Indians have the highest ADHD in the world. It's not a minor distraction. It's a complete roadblock. The constantly slipping away. Remember, only a low IQ person thinks I'm being racist. I'm just copying their accent because it gets through to them. So don't take this out of context. They're consistently slipping away from the drills and homework assignments nonstop. 3 weeks at a time, they disappear. And just like, it's not just ADHD. Indians also have the second highest narcissism in the world. Right after Chinese pickup artists. While not all Chinese people are toxic, Chinese pickup artists are definitely toxic. But Indians, they're like a mix of narcissism, sociopathy, and procrastination. Every single one of them has sociopathic traits. It's all part of the upbringing. And when they move to the countries like the United States, I don't know why my neck is moving like that. But when you talk like that, you feel like you want to move your neck. Even when they move to the United States country, like the United States, these traits don't go away and they're flooded Canada. They remain narcissistic, sociopathic, procrastinators, and depressed. And the depression is a loser trait. They have impaired social skills, and their narrow focus doesn't help. For the Asperger's engineers, the benchoding cycle. This constant crashing is what I call benchoding. It's like when they're stuck in the cycle of ADHD, procrastination, and backstabbing themselves. They keep getting into their own way. They start the program, they disappear for weeks, and then reappear only to repeat the same patterns. It's a slippery behavior, just like that other Sri Lankan guy. And it was why so many of them fail to build consistency. Yet my newest Indian students who's working on elite tonality mastery is also benchoding a little bit. He disappeared for a few days at a time because he's so occupied with work and other distractions. But when he forces himself to focus, even for just 10 minutes a day, he will get results. So the physical and mental barriers, their diet does not help either. Most Indians either follow a vegetarian diet, which is not good for ADHD. It leaves them with low energy and double chins and loose skin. The brains are like dual core processors with very low RAM. They can only handle like two things at once. Number one is their job. Whatever else occupies their limited mental capacity. Day game, that's just too much for them. The RAM is completely maxed out. And because they are so occupied, they let their ADHD and mental viruses take over. Their tonality suffers. Their state of mind crashes. And they start backstabbing, benchoding nonstop over and over. And the winner and lose, if I'm going to talk like that, right, is it going to dissuade the Indians? I don't think so. Maybe somebody needs to tell you guys the truth. So I'm still here, right? Still here? Okay. All right. So the winner loser effect and supplementation. The winner and loser effect makes it even worse. When they fail, their confidence spirals downwards, and their ADHD makes it impossible for them to climb back up. That's why supplementation is so important. Their ADHD isn't just a personality quirk, it's a chemical imbalance. With the right supplements, they can improve their focus and tonality and their overall state of mind. It's like, John, you should not, appropriate Indian accent. But what if I feel like I'm an Indian on the inside? Then what then? But then they need to force themselves to take action. Even 10 minutes a day can make a huge difference. It's about consistency. It's about breaking the cycle of procrastination and bench holding. So the path to success is aeroscience. Indians need to follow the aeroscience system. It's not just about using alcohol or outdated tactics like push pulls. It's about building real skills aeroscience focuses on. Number one, you got to sharpen your tonality to improve your communications. Number two, mastering state of mind to stay focused and confident without meditation. Overcoming objections using tested, effective methods, not alcohol crutches. My students uses the aeroscience to sexualize interactions and to deal with objections effectively. They don't rely on alcohol and they don't rely on romantic flirts or gimmicks. They rely on skills. So here's a message to the Indians. Isn't it time to come back to Johnny Elite, to come back home? You're more than welcome here. Even if other Indian students who gets laid year after year have been struggling by benchoding. But when he forces himself to focus, even for just 10 minutes a day, he'll get results again. So ask yourself, how much time have you wasted? You spent years listening to platform scammers. You've been brainwashed into thinking it's all about alcohol, push pulls, and romantic flirts. But where has it gotten you? Nowhere. You've been fooled by empty promises and old testimonials during the pandemic. Reposted, now you're becoming offended by me because you refuse to even consider my system because you've been brainwashed. But here's the truth. The more offended you are, the more sociopathic that you are, It's time to stop being delusional. It's time to stop procrastinating. And also, it's time to start focusing on what actually works. Take the supplementation. Force yourself to spend 10 minutes a day because your ADHD and mental state are affected your tonality, your focus, and your results. It's time to break free, break the cycle. It's time to come back to John Elite. All right. So that's for the Indians. So, all right. Let's talk about the next one, which is Latinos. ASA. No, I'm not going to do that. So, why Latinos are the worst students of 2025? They're probably laughing at that. Latinos officially became the worst students of 2025, but it wasn't always this way. Before the pandemic, Latinos had a perceived natural status of 7 out of 10 in looks. They were decent looking, they were tall, they had good faces, always 7 out of 10. But even if they weren't super good looking, getting laid was easy for Latinos. They bragged about their past successes, their girlfriends, their multiple girlfriends, or even juggling several women at the same time. It was easy. But when the pandemic hit, everything changed. A lot of Latinos started to struggle. And when the inflation hit, they were crippled even further, except for my students, the Johnny Elite difference. Almost every Latino laid testimonial across the industry are probably my former students. So if you're Latino and you can't do it here, you can't do it anywhere else. If another coach claims a Latino late testimonial, chances are that person was my former student. Because when the inflation hit, most Latinos, they failed because my students still got laid. So the crash of 2025. Let's fast forward to 2025, and Latinos have completely crashed out. They've gone from being naturally successful, just SMVing it, right? They could have done short-term intensity instead of long-term consistency. But instead, they did the opposite. They've gone from being naturally successful to the worst students of all time. So what happened? The inflation era hit their confidence hard, and now their emotional instability, stubbornness, and the lack of resilience have left them stuck. They've become unteachable cases. So they become the ultimate sheeps. Latinos are like the ultimate sheeps now. They blindly worship tall, self-proclaimed white dating coaches who relies on Tinder lays and seeking arrangements, lead generation as proof. These coaches post pictures of themselves standing next to women in elevators, calling it proof. But here's the problem. They never show infields from open to sex. Their pose always ends in a cab or some vague scenario. They claim it's because showing more isn't legal, but that's just an excuse. If they really had real results from Daygame, they could at least show a screenshot or proof in the bedroom when the woman is just next to them on the bed. But they don't actually show that because they can't. None of these white dating coaches can actually do a same-day lay. Tinder is not pickup. Tinder doesn't count as pickup. It is not a lay count. It is a body count. Even women can rack up over 100 lays in 1 year without any skills. So how is that pickup or how is that game? Pickup, on the other hand, requires real skills, and using Tinder with AI images or hiring someone from another country to swipe for you isn't pickup. Even though they might text the women and then they get her phone number, then they give the phone number and the information to the coach, and the coach collects the lay. How is that count? Here's how it works. An assistant can swipe for you using AI images for you to match with women. They can start a conversation with lines like, what are you looking for from here? And once they get the women's contact information, they'll send it to the coach. The coach never even swiped on these women. It's all make-believe mental bullshit, in my opinion. I could be wrong. Don't forget that. I'm not saying this is a definite statement, but I'm just saying that this is something that can easily happen. It has happened with playing with dicks. They also use an assistant to swipe for them. So that's not pickup. It's just fabricated systems designed to fool people. The Latino fuck behavior. What are the 5 traits? All right. So if you want to know the 5 traits of Latinos, go ahead, ask any questions you want in between. I'll continue, whether if there's people here or not. So the Latino fuck behavior, the 5 traits. Latinos exhibit what I call the Latino fuck behavior. So let's see here. I only see one person on here. What the fuck? That better not be me. I have an idea before I continue. Why don't I just make the main channel trailer this one? Then they'll have to watch it. Yeah, let's just fucking do that. So, profile, challenge, 3. Yeah, we should just do that. Challenge, 3. There you go. All right. So hopefully more people starts to show up because now, all right, cool. 2 people. Say hi. If you want to ask any questions, go ahead. So what's a Latino fuck behavior? What's the 5 traits? Number 1, Latinos exhibit what I call Latino fuck behavior. It's a cycle of failure driven by their mindsets and emotional instability. Here are the 5 traits. Number 1, they throw shit against the wall and they see what sticks. Latinos have a one-track mind. They can't do simple breathing exercises to improve their tonality because they can't count properly because that requires 2 steps. The brains are like Pentium 1 processors, slow, outdated, and incapable of multitasking. Number 2, the wrong path to sociopath. They fail within 4 months and repeat the cycle 3 times a year. Their stubbornness makes them think that they're always right. Number 3, they'll have a meltdown. At some point, all Latinos will have a meltdown. They'll start blaming me for their failures, even though they've already given up. Their emotional blindness prevents them from hearing their own mistakes. They'll have a meltdown, or they'll be crying. If they're not having a meltdown, they'll be crying. They'll be in tears. Number 4, they're going to quit. Latinos quit very easily. They're emotionally unstable, and they lack a resilience, makes it hard for them to stick with anything. Number 5, Latinos will resurrect after quitting. They'll resurrect themselves and start all over, but they'll go right back to stage 1, repeating the cycle endlessly. This cycle happens to 3 times before they quit for life. So let's talk about the winner and loser effect. Latinos are heavily influenced by the winner and loser effect. When they succeed, their testosterone spikes, giving them a temporary boost, which is rarely happening for pickup because of the Pentium 1 computer. But when they fail, their cortisol levels skyrockets, leading to emotional crashes. Their constant fluctuations leave them stuck in the loop of emotional blindness because they always have this frown, right? Latinos. Like all the mugshots, everything. And then they have the sociopathic eyes. And they'll have like a downturned lip with a low IQ look. All the mugshots. I'm not sure what this is, but maybe they don't feel the emotions. And then they're very depressed. And the bigger the frown, the more crazier the crime. Crazier their migrant crime. So, yes, exactly. So, having said that, emotional blindness, they have ADHD to the max. They even have mental blinking, which means that their brain shuts down in the middle of them learning something new. The brain will shut down, go back on, shut down, go back on, shut down, go. It's like a light switch, on, off, on, off, on, off. And they can't hear all the information. They have to listen to it twice. Latinos' brains are physically broken. They will not acknowledge it. They'll just say they're perfect. They'll self-deceive. They'll manipulate their own reality. And that's because of the sociopathy. They can never be wrong. They're always right in their own mind for Latinos. They'll get offended because they have high ego, low self-esteem. But because they're delusional and they're sociopathic and they have to be right and they feel no guilt, they'll shift the blame to somebody else. It's never their fault. It's always my fault. Always somebody else's fault. Never their fault. These sociopaths are like that. Whenever you have a student that never takes responsibility, when you say this is your fault and they start giving you excuses and shifting blame and blaming me, you know you're dealing with a sociopath. Sociopaths are emotionally blind. All of them are triggered and emotionally blind. They're all delusional. That's the thing. That's why so many Latinos are broke, in debt. They're always in 5-figure debt because they're emotionally unstable. Whenever they feel depressed, they're going to spend more money as retail therapy. That's how Latinos think. They got to spend all their money. They're all in 5-figure debt. If they're not in 5-figure debt, they're broke. But most of them are in 5-figure debt, over 90%. Only 10% are broke. There is no Latinos that I know for pickup artists that makes a lot of money. Even the ones who succeeds ends up with a double chin and poor physical health, but they only are good at one thing with their Asperger's. And then everything else, they would say like, oh, I've done this before. Good for you. Just one thing, right? The problem with white dating coaches, Latinos worship white dating coaches who sells them lies. These coaches have less than 1% success rate for Daygame for their students versus their subscriber count. I calculate it's like 0.0001 something. No same day late infields from open to sex, but they'll still worship. They'll still be like, oh yeah. They'll start calling me out, but I say, where's your white dating coach's stuff besides optics? They don't know how to answer that. Testimonials based on Tinder lays and seeking arrangements lead gen, and they get dazzled over it. They even count positive YouTube comments as testimonials for these coaches, all optics, testimonial stuffing. But the Latinos are so delusional that they cannot see through it. They got to worship the white cock, and they got to spread their butt cheeks and ram it up their ass as hard as they can because they're too busy spreading their and worshiping these white coaches to notice the lack of real student laid testimonials for pickup. The unteachable cases of 2025. This year, almost all Latino students have become unteachable cases. They all argue with me. They procrastinate and do exactly the opposite. Got spaghetti earlier on. They argue with me, procrastinate, and do the exact opposite of what I teach. They believe that once they learn something, they got it forever. But that's not how skills work, because short-term intensity does not beat long-term consistency. I'll say this again. Short-term intensity does not beat long-term consistency. Latinos cannot be consistent long-term because they're going to lose their minds and, So why not suggest professional ADHD treatment such as Adderall beyond supplements? ADHD is severe. Well, the Latino brain is so broken, right, that they cannot stop graping. Like when you look at all the migrants, they cannot stop graping underage girls. It's just like how they think. And 46 out of 50 countries, murder capitals or Latin countries. So their brains are so broken that even if they got ADHD supplements and they got depression supplements, they can't stop acting like that because they're a Pentium 1 processor. So it's not going to work. Sure, some supplements might help. There are supplements to reduce the mental blinking. It doesn't have to be just Adderall, but it's not going to fully work because you fix one issue. It's like whack-a-mole. You fix one of them, another one pops up. They have like 7 or 8 different issues at once. More than the Indians, more than the Asians. So, approved and evaluated by a mental professional. Well, listen, BC, right? You know your brain, right? That you procrastinated. That's why you lost your job. You taking Adderall, you think that's going to help your motivation? Be honest here. Be honest. You lost your job exactly when I predicted. I'm psychic. Because you were lazy and you didn't follow through. You did it your own way. You ignored my advice to go to Udemy and learn some more engineering stuff, and it blew up in your face. See, this is Latinos right there. BC is Latino. He is in denial. This is exactly the problem with Latinos. They're in complete denial. It sucks that you're in denial because unless you actually admit it, sociopathic people can never admit their own mistakes. This is exactly how it works because they're never wrong. Let's blame Adderall. Let's blame ADHD. Something else can fix it. No, it can't. Besides, you fix the ADHD. You have other issues to deal with. You're still stuck. You have a lot of things to work through. So it's funny when you say mental health professionals. Guess what? I create the mental trauma cure. I got like 100% success rate for everyone that went through it. They all got rid of their mental trauma. None of the psychologists and people, they never figure out how to get rid of mental trauma. They go for years in therapy. If they're so professional, then why can't they figure out this? And I can figure it out because they're stupid people. Stupid people. I've taught enough pickup artists to know these patterns. It's not like something I'm making up. They all act the same. They all have mental blinking. Yes, you can take supplements, but Latinos will never put it in their mouth because they're so lazy. They can't even get the fucking pill into their mouth. They'll make excuses, and then they'll say there's nothing wrong, and they'll talk about their past successes or something like that, like it matters. They'll say stuff like, I work every day. It's like, you're supposed to, motherfucker. It's like, oh yeah, I made this much money before. You're supposed to. Oh yeah, I got a girlfriend before. You're supposed to. You're Latino. You have 7 out of 10 perceived natural status before. You're supposed to. What the fuck? But that's not how skills work. One-track mind and stubbornness makes them impossible to coach. The contract in the probationary period. From now on, all Latino students must sign a contract and go through a probationary period. Here's how it works. They'll pay half the course up front. They cannot pay for the whole thing. They'll go through a test for a week to prove that they're coachable. That means the first day, they're going to finish the mindset playlist by writing down from the last challenge 10 takeaways for all 26 videos. After that week is over, I call them out on all their mistakes. They have to upgrade all 260 to reflect the mistakes so I can make an AI audio. If the Latino fights back and says, I don't want to do this, and they get stubborn and they start to say, I've already done this. No, I'm going to quit because they're lazy. Then you can just kick them out and say, you can just keep Elite 30, Elite Playbook, but where you don't get any more Skypes, you get one Skype and you don't get Elite Access, you don't get Elite Tonality Mastery, Latino. I've given you a chance. You failed the probationary period. You have a contract. You did not prove you're sane. If they pass, they can pay the remaining half and continue training. If not, they can just go their separate ways. And Latinos, here's the thing about Latinos who are completely insane. It doesn't matter if you're insane. You're still going to get laid after 3 years if you continue to use my products, both of them, even if you don't have Elite Tonality Mastery. Listen to this Latino guy who basically, this is the proof. As long as you keep going on my system and you don't have super dog shit SMV with bad fashion, you fix the fashion, you continue my system, in 3 years, you get your dick wet usually. So let's hear let's hear a testimonial from a Latino who took a couple years. He still got married. He still procreated, but he was very slow. This is not made up bullshit. This is how they behave. You can't even make this stuff up. They all act the same after all these years. It's just right now they're just crashing out 10 times harder. So I did not ban all Latinos like I ban all Indians. So I did not ban all Latinos. I'm going to give them another chance, but they need to be a probationary. That means all the other ethnicities do not have to go through this. Only Latinos. Let's hear what they say.
And I am one of John Elite. Hello, my name is, and I am one of John Elite's former disgraced students. I say that because I was following the teachings of John Elite, but eventually I started acting like a zombie. I was trying to reverse engineer his teachings to what I wanted to do. I wasn't listening to what John was telling me, and eventually it got me kicked out of his program.
Yeah, Latino fuck behavior. He tries to change my course with his one-track mind to make it fit his... He did the same thing again.
And that is something I deeply regret, because all of John Elite's teachings are something that have seriously improved my life in millions of ways. For example, when I first joined John Elite about 3 to 4 years ago, I had nearly no money in the bank, and I had $17,000 in debt. $5,000 was student loans, and $11,000 was credit card
BC, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about debt, right?
Debt. And even though John Elite had to say goodbye to me as a student about like 3 to 4 years ago, I still followed and implemented John's teachings. All of his teachings, how to make money, how to sell things. For example, he gives you a lot of different books to read. These are some of those books. The Secret series, he gave me those books. Here's the third one, Traffic Secrets. He gave me all of those books to read. And I read those books and I implemented those books in my own business. And I was able to build a profitable small business. And I was able to completely erase all of my student loan debt, my credit card debt. I was able to erase everything. And what you're hearing right now outside the door, that is my son. And my woman is out there. And John Elite was able to help me. I was just talking to my wife, who was taking care of my son. So yeah, John Elite, he helped me get married. He helped me reproduce. I have a son now. My son is very handsome and healthy because the woman is very beautiful. And beyond that, John Elite, he also, even though I was removed from the program.
Leaving no choice but to declare you excommunicado. The doors to any service or provider in connection with the Continental are now closed to you.
He still gave me his elite playbook, which helped me.
You see that? If you use any of my courses, right, and you have the right fashion, you automatically get laid. Even if it took him 3 years, he still was able to do it, even if he dabbled in it. All of you will get laid with my program. It's not a matter if you get laid. It's a matter of when you get laid. You understand that? But long-term consistency, which Latinos cannot do. But over time, even those, 21 days or 30 days in a row compressed, he might stretch it out to 3 years and took long breaks. But if you compress them together and not have more than 2-day break, he'll get there faster.
Practice and drill the things that I needed to do in order to get laid with other women. So right here, I'm going to show you. That's a censored picture of me getting laid with another girl who is not my wife. And I will send the uncensored picture to John Elite so that he will have the proof that it is me getting laid and not like a fake picture. That's real, right? And
this was in 2024, so it's quite recent during the inflation. He cheated on his wife and he banged another woman, but his wife knew.
I'm going to show you my bank account as well as my car, just so you can see that everything that he's saying is true. And all of this is just to say, basically, in a nutshell, John Elite is the absolute best day game cold approach coach in the entire world. And if you want to get laid with cold approach, you need to listen to John Elite. Every single other person in the world has no clue what they're talking about.
But I in depth, and I have a high credit score. Dude, you don't have a job, you've been fired, and you barely have any money. You're like broke. So if you're not in debt, you're broke. Do you see that? Latinos are crashing out right now. We're watching a Latino crash out in real time. So this is your time to crash out. The 5 traits of Latino fuck behavior. You're going to have a meltdown very soon and argue.
Elite is the best coach. He's a freaking genius. He's the only one who came up with the trauma cure therapy.
So I'm always wondering every single week, which is the next person to crash out? BC is going to be the next one, most likely. We're going to watch him crash out.
Also did, and it works 100%. I'm surprised that hasn't won a Nobel Peace.
When I was making Elite Tonality Mastery, another guy crashed out in the middle of the course. He lost his fucking mind. So we're going to see who's the next crash out. Every week we have a new crash out during the tariff. You see that? Everything I've been saying is 100% true.
John Elite also came up with all of the cold approach methods that actually work. He breaks everything down to a mathematical science.
You should try to blame me, BC, just like all the other guys getting triggered. They'll crash out and they'll say I'm wrong and I'm evil and I'm a bully or something. Just go ahead and say it, right? Just let it out. Show the world.
There's just so much I could say about him, but the most important thing I could say is he really knows what he's talking about. It works, and this is my testimonial of John Elite services. If you want to get laid, you need to listen to him too. So as you can see, here's my hand, so you can see there's no Photoshop, right? There's my name, and here's my account. I'm going to scroll so you can see there's no Photoshop. This is my checking account that I just used, and this is my savings account. I have $43,000. I have 3 credit cards, no balance on any of them, and my only loan I have is on my car, which is a Maserati, and I'm going to show you this. This is proof. I drive a Maserati Gran Turismo. Hello, John Elite. I know my hair is not in the pompadour style right now, but that's because I just got out the shower. Here's my car. It's the Maserati. I'm telling the truth, bro. I promise.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a Latino, right? But he did try to come back. He tried to sneak back in. Maybe I just offered him to join Elite Access. I didn't know it was him. He originally wanted Elite 60, where I sit down for 10 hours a day and, watching him do his homework assignments and practice. That's a waste of my time. There's no consideration. There's no guilt. There's no remorse whatsoever. But I'm not doing well financially, of course. Yeah. So that's the thing. I said Latinos are either broke like you or they're in 5-figure debt. But if you're not like broke, if you're not in debt, 5-figure, then you're broke. There's no like plus, right? So with the ADHD. So my message to Latinos, it's time to wake up. You've been fooled by optics and lies. You've been wasting your time and money worshiping white dating coaches who can't deliver real results for you. It's time to stop being stubborn. It's time to stop throwing shit against the wall and hoping something sticks. It's time to start following a system that works. If you're ready to change and you're ready to not think the short-term intensity, but long-term consistency, I'm here to help. But you need to prove that you're willing to put in the effort. Because of this is the gospel of Daygame, somebody has to say all this. And like I said, you can always sign a contract, and you have to prove your sanity first before you can train with me. That's all. You've got to prove that you're not going to crash out and be a bad student. And in 2025, I had a Latino student who crashed out. He is the worst student of the year now. I've never seen anything as bad. Probably the top 3 worst students of all time. Didn't even last a week. Fought against everything. I've seen other students that are bad. African students that are bad. I've seen like lots of Latinos. Probably among the top 5 worst students, like 4 of them are Latinos. But I've never seen anything like this before. So why my students succeed? My students don't rely on gimmicks or shortcuts. They focus on long-term consistency. They sharpen their saw before they're cutting down the trees. They're just collecting delays. That's why they get results. Even in 2025, during the toughest era yet, I'm still getting students laid, married, and procreating, even though one student just had a miscarriage. Because it's not about doing more. It's about doing the right things consistently. The key to success is small, continuous efforts. The solution, okay? If there was a solution that I had to change, remember I had to change in the pandemic. I had to change during the inflation, where it's tough in the beginning. And now I have to change during the tariff. If there was a solution for everything, what is the new solution for Daygame? The new solution is the 30-day challenge of Elite 30 and then 21-day challenge of Elite Tonality Mastery back to back. That's going to be 51 days in a row. So that's like, yeah, something like that. 51 days. So that's the only way to do it now for Daygame. It's not about shortcuts or gimmicks. That's why I'm changing the course from Elite Bundle 2, because even if I use Elite Access to teach them Elite Tonality Mastery, Latinos are going to crash out. They're going to frown at you. They don't know what emotions is. They don't know what tonality is. They cannot hear their own mistakes. So they have to go through a 21-day challenge after the 30-day challenge. So it's not about outdated tactics like mass approaching with direct compliments or saying, can I meet you real quick? Push polls or self-amusement, DHV stories. These zombie tactics only reinforce bad habits, especially during this era of the inflation and tariffs. So if you spend 6 months mass approaching, talking fast, and relying on bad emotions, you're setting yourself up for failure. Why? Because you're reinforcing the winner and loser effect, a cycle where failure leads to more emotional crashes and bad habits. To succeed, you need to transform from a zombie to human to superhuman. The transformation starts with the sharpening the saw, building the real skills and habits that become second nature. So with the 30-day and 21-day challenge back to back, it takes 21 days to develop a new habit or to break an old one. That's why I create the 30-day challenge of Elite 30 in the past. It was designed to help students build the foundational skills in just 1 month. However, but in today's world, it is not enough. That's why I added a 21-day Elite Tonality Mastery Challenge. This challenge, exclusive to Elite Bundle Resurrections, you cannot buy it separately as standalone unless you already have one of my courses. For example, BC has my $5 course, Elite Daygame First Steps. You'll be minus $5 for the whole course. If you had Elite 30, you'll be minus, that price, $250 minus this. And then whatever, you can get a discount. If you already have one of my older courses, you can upgrade. But this thing can fix your tonality, improve your emotional control, sharpen communication skills. Together, these challenges provide less than 1.5 months of basic training. But it's good. It's like joining the elite army, training step by step, building the skills needed for Daygame success. And here's how it works, step-by-step transformation. Number 1, daily skills. Focus each day. You focus on one specific skill. For example, day 1, you demonstrate a happy, fun, carefree, positive vibe for Elite 30. That's all you do all day. You don't try to win. You don't try to get dates. You just work on that one skill to install it. I know some of you with a massive ego cannot do that. Day number 2, you practice your box breathing to slow down your nervous system before approaching. You're not trying to get laid or do a same-day lay yet. You're just building skills one day at a time. Number 2, use short, consistent practice. All it takes is 10 to 15 minutes. Get a mirror. You can practice in front of a mirror, or maybe you can record yourself and send the practice to me on Elite Access, and I'll give you quick feedback in a few seconds. I don't have to do as much work with the Elite Tonality Mastery. I can just supervise you. You can go through the course. Apply what you learn. Once you practice, you go out and you apply that one skill with women. You're not focusing on getting results yet. You're sharpening the saw. See, it doesn't take a long time. You don't have to be out there every single day. You can be out there every few days or even less, once a week, as long as you're practicing at home, because you're doing no stakes practice, deliberate practice. Number 4, you're building the 20L35 system. Over time, you develop the key components of 20L35. 2.5 points for social skills flow drill, which is on Elite Access. 2.5 points for social calibrations, which is on Elite 30. 2.5 points for tonality, which is going to be part Elite Tonality Mastery, no longer just on whatever. And that also is just the emotional control is also part of that. And while these skills are installed, you'll start seeing results automatically getting laid within 6 approaches. When you leveled up only, when you get all those 7.5 points. Game is 2.5. You can worry about that later. More skills equals less game. Less skills equals more game. Why Tonality Mastery is a game changer. The Elite Tonality Mastery course is packed with 10 to 15 hours of brand new content. So I'm cutting it down, but it's over 15 hours actually. It's so long that each video was 3 hours. I have to cut it down to at least like half of that. But the shortest videos are like 2.5 hours. These are the secret techniques of my top students in the inner circle. They've been using for more than 6 years in a row to achieve massive success. Now I'm finally going to make it into a public course. That's right. You only learn like 30% of my system. 20 lays for one student. You saw that one with 15 lays, that Chinese guy. 8 lays for the other Latino. And most of them are 9 out of 10 for women. Even that black student got like 100 lays. And he's coaching. These techniques have never been shared publicly until now. The 21-day challenge is the core of the course, but the additional content that ensures that fully equipped to succeed. The importance of adaptation. In 2024, I focus on Elite Access first, teaching the drills like body language, whitewash, tonality, slowing down, social skills flow drill, but students would have moved on to Elite 30 and they still got laid from it. Okay, but in 2025, even good students have started acting like unteachable cases. That's why I adapted, just like Mayweather Jr. adapts to every single fight. This year, the focus is on Elite Tonality Mastery for emotional control and tonality. Step-by-step skills installation through challenges. 21-day challenge, 30-day challenge. Do not take more than 2-day break. This adaptation ensures that even the toughest era, my students can succeed. Only 10 minutes a day of practice. That's it. I'd rather do 10 minutes a day compressed to less than 1.5 months rather than doing that for like months and months, like 6 months of mass approaching with direct game. Trust me, that's not going to work. The key to success is laser focused. When you're out there practicing, you must have laser focus. For example, on day 1, your only goal is to demonstrate a positive vibe. Right now, an Indian student did not get me infield, right? So I might have to ban him. So did you get the infield or you did not go out? Right? Send me the infield of you practicing the happy, fun, carefree, positive vibe as you're going back to Elite 30. If you don't have it right now and you have benchloaded, BHENCHOD, benchloaded, right? You're going to be banned for a long time or kicked out of my program. Let me phone him. He just went online for a little bit and then he didn't go on. Well, at least he can look at the thing over here. If he did not go out, then this is not a coachable student. He became an unteachable case. He got laid like every single year that he's training with me. But yeah, this is Indians. I'm telling you, they really are that insufferable. I can't even make this stuff up. I can't. On day 2, your goal is only to breathe properly before approaching. And you're not trying to win every interaction. It's like fighting in a Brazilian jiu-jitsu match. You may lose at first against women. They have more skills than you. But you start defending yourself and you're installing one skill at a time. Eventually, you're going to start winning the matches or evening up. When you start being equal and she cannot pin you anymore, then you can start to win. The transformation only takes 10 to 15 minutes of practice a day. Everyone has 10 to 15 minutes, including engineers. The solution is to stop being a zombie. Zombies cannot focus. They pump their state. They disappear for weeks at a time. They rely on outdated tactics like RSD. So if you want to succeed and you need to install real skills through constant practice, transform from zombie to human to superhuman when it's second nature, this is the solution. It is not about doing more. It's about doing better. So stop wasting time with shortcuts or gimmicks. Commit to the process, sharpen your saw, and watch how quickly your results change. Want to get laid in 2025? Let's make this happen. Contact me. So I'll send you guys a contact me page. You can choose what you want. Strategy session, you can ask one question or you can have a consultation, up to you, whatever works for you. Let me put a link to it. Or you can ask me about a course. So I updated the contact me page. I just wrote some new copywriting. I'm not sure if it's good or not. I wrote it myself. So, okay. So basically, as I'm saying, as I'm running a 5-day challenge and inviting you to message me to claim your spot. I'm not selling the course here. I'm not promoting the course. I'm just saying, you don't want to miss this. Early bird pricing. If you contact me, you can get a cheaper pricing that no one else would get. And honestly, I might only leave this price on for a couple of days. Limited bonuses. The first 10 people that signs up to John Elite Bundle Resurrections will get the Elite soundtrack. And all future soundtracks completely free. Secret financing plan. I'm offering a flexible financing plan broken into 3 pieces as you progress through the 30-day challenge. I'll unlock parts of the course for you. So you can break it down into pieces. If it's $1,000, 333, 333, 333. You can start using Elite 30 in the beginning in one Skype. The next one you can use Elite Playbook. And then the next one you can open up Elite Access and Elite Tonality Mastery and all the other Skypes. Make sense? So you can start to go on your own time, but you pay in pieces. So there's no excuses why no one can afford it. But contact me first. After Elite 30, yeah, these are the orders. It's very critical that we stack these skills together. Normally, I would just be focusing mostly on Elite Bundle 2 if they want to see the courses on their own time. But now, there's no choice but to use long-term consistency and reduce short-term intensity. This is the missing link to my top students that have been using it in my inner circle and Elite Access. It's the adjustments I made for 2025, and it is tailored for your ethnicity. So, maybe he's taking a nap, but that means he didn't get the infields. Let me talk about my other Latino student, right? You're on it. We'll see. Do you have any infields? Right? They don't even have to be good. So I'm just texting a Gen Z Latino student. Whenever a person's off the line, right, I'm pretty strict. When they're on the line, I'm not. I'm very nice. But if you're nice to these zombies, they're like junkyard dogs. They'll bite everything and shit all over the place. You can't be nice to people, to zombies. They'll eat you up alive. Just cut out any part information of you in it for your name or anything like that. Right? but send it to me right away. So the Gen Z Latino student is finally on the line. Last time he failed, he crashed out, but now he's come back and he's doing the homework assignments, everything I'm saying. So he's definitely improved a lot. Likely he'll get laid eventually, even if he's like in his early 20s. So that's the resilience I'm looking for. But he's got some infields. That's good. Well, the other Indian student will, let's see what he has to say. On it. Excellent. You see that? It's much faster than before. He always has to go through the mindset playlist if he ever slows down. This student has been doing breathing exercises every hour for the last 5 days. Most Latinos can't even count properly when they're breathing with a one-track mind. But this student is doing it. So I believe that he's going to make some quantum leaps soon. It's the adjustments I made for 2025 is tailored for your ethnicity. Asians, Indians, and Latinos each have their own custom training methods now. Why does this matter? Because if you ever wanted to get laid with high-value white girls, build a rotation or find a girlfriend or wife through Daygame, this is your golden opportunity. The tariffs and economic shifts are creating a window of opportunity. The United States is going to bounce back, and you don't want to miss out on this wealth and opportunities. You think everything's going to crash. It's not true. The United States will be a golden age. But if you quit now, you're setting yourself up for regret, because most people who quit never comes back, or they take 10 years break. MGTOW. By the time it's 10 years afterwards and you're old and you have wrinkles, your brain's neuroplasticity will be gone. You cannot adapt. And some of the people that came to me this year, they're getting older, but their brains cannot adapt with their Asperger's. So without social skills, you'll be stuck. So are you coachable? Not everyone's been coachable. This isn't for unteachable cases who refuse to change. But if you're someone who's coachable and ready to transform, this is your chance. Here's how you can get started. Number one, you can sign up immediately. Don't wait. Spots are limited. And the bonuses are only the first 10 people for the soundtrack. Number two, get a free strategy session. If you're unsure, book a free 15-minute strategy session or a free consultation, which is also 15 minutes. I'll diagnose your issues, make recommendations, and create a plan for your success. Contact me today, text me, call me, whatever you want to do. Typing is faster. But basically, that's why I want to say, if you want me to play more testimonials, I can do a few more right now of unreleased ones, right? But if you guys get the point, short-term intensity is not going to work versus long-term consistency. And even if it's just 10 minutes a day. So if you're an engineer, you're a Latino who cannot focus, you're Indian who disappears for weeks at a time, 10 minutes a day is hardly anything. You just have to focus on the protocol and commit. That's all you need to do is commit 10 minutes a day. You don't have to do any more than 10 minutes a day. Send me your homework assignments for elite access. I'll give you a critique. You work on the next one. You don't become a loser and you procrastinate. And here's one thing I found about losers. They'll procrastinate. So I was looking on Google, procrastination, ADHD, depression. I want to see if there's a correlation. Is procrastination, ADHD, or... Okay, this is what it says. The relationship between ADHD and procrastination. When you're putting things off and what to do about it. If you have ADHD, like most Latinos and Indians, and you probably found yourself struggling with procrastination, I'm just reading a random article. It seems like you're constantly putting off important tasks until the last possible moment, leaving you to scramble under the pressure to get things done. Everyone procrastinates sometimes, but the characteristics of ADHD, like distractibility and problems with executive functions, can make it particularly challenging. It's not about low interest or lack of willpower. It all boils down to how ADHD brain functions, including difference in executive functions and motivation. Procrastination involves delay of tasks or decisions need to be completed by a specific deadline. When faced with a task we just don't want to do, many of us will put it off until tomorrow, setting aside unless we feel overwhelmed with all our other responsibility, or simply waiting until we have more energy to tackle the task the next day. However, it becomes more of a problem if you find that you're putting these tasks off again and again and never getting to them later. This appears to happen quite often with people with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, for various reasons. Okay. I wonder if there's a part that talks about depression, how it's connected. That, ADHD, right? Depression. I found an article before, right, that talks about ADHD and depression, and everything's connected. And that's why they had to spend money to I don't think I can find that exact article. I should have saved it. But most people with ADHD has some depressions. And I was reading an article to another student. They were so shocked. It sounded exactly like them. The reason why they're losers with ADHD, they are losers. Because if you are a loser, you will half-ass everything. You never have an emotional bank account, and you'll keep failing. If you don't want to fail anymore, you want to get laid, and just contact me for a free strategy session. You don't actually have to buy anything right now. I'm not promoting the courses. I'm just telling you that is the solution, which is the 30-day challenge plus the 21-day challenge together. That is the new solution, the new adaptation for 2025. All the students will go through it. They have no choice but to do it. So that's the end of the challenge for today. I'm glad that the thing came back. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to end it right now. See you tomorrow. Wait, you want to say something? Yo, what's up? You missed the entire thing. I was just about to stop right now. Give it a thumbs up. You missed it. It was so much stuff. You missed a lot of good things, man. I was talking about long-term consistency beats short-term intensity. Rather than pump your state and RSD it or go to boot camps, if you did it for 30 days in a row or 21 days, you automatically get laid. That's what you missed. The concept of long-term consistency beats short-term intensity. And all the students, I kept playing a testimonial of a student who got laid 15 lays in a row. And the first time I share his video testimonials. That's what you missed. I was going to play his testimonial. Should I do it right now? I'm not sure. People heard it over and over. I'm going to stop the video. You have to go back to the beginning and watch everything. Yeah, it does make sense. Anyways, I'm going to stop this video and get something to eat. See you guys in tomorrow's challenge. Okay? I'm not pitching anything but a strategy session. If you want you want a chance to get elite resurrections or elite bundle resurrections with the soundtrack. You want the soundtrack? If you're the first ones to get this course, you just upgrade. If you had my course before, you just have to upgrade. Whatever you had from before will be discounted from it. And you can get the whole soundtrack with it. That's how you can get it. I won't sell it separately. Just contact me in the contact me page.